Chapter 2872. It's okay. This martial art technique is so powerful. In comparison, this is not a flaw at all. Master, please teach me quickly. Kong Mingming said impatiently. Yes, but there are still some things to take note of about this martial art technique that I have to tell you. Patriarch Xianqin waved his hand and gestured for Kong Mingming to calm down. This martial art technique is a pill fire martial art technique. So, apart from the flaw in the activation time, there is another flaw. That is, it is ineffective against cultivators with ice and fog attributes. No matter how big the pill fire bomb is, it will not be able to harm cultivators with these two attributes. Oh, Kong Xiaoming paused. He knew a bit about the real and virtual attributes. His fire attribute was virtual, created by the blazing flame pellet, but he didn't care too much about it. But there are very few ice and fog attribute practitioners, so it's not a big deal. Kong Xiaoming didn't think too much about it. Yes, that is true. However, there is one more thing to take note of. That is, the pill fire bomb condensed by the fire attribute pill fire is also ineffective against cultivators with water attributes. Patriarch Xianqin said. Ah, Master, then why don't you just say that this pill fire bomb is ineffective against water, ice, and mist attribute cultivators? Isn't that enough? Why do you have to say it separately? Kong Mingming was a little confused. This is different. I am talking about the vital energy bomb condensed by the fire attribute pill fire, but it does not include the pill fire condensed by the water attribute pill fire. Patriarch Xianqin waved his hand and explained, cultivators with ice and fog attributes are immune to the pill fire condensed by the fire attribute pill fire. However, the pill fire condensed by the water attribute pill fire is ineffective against cultivators with earth attributes. Master, I understand. This is the principle of metal restraining wood. Wood restraining earth, earth restraining water, water restraining fire, and fire restraining metal, right? Kong Mingming was not stupid. He immediately figured out the principle. That's right. The alchemic fire bombs condensed from these attributes all have cultivators who are immune to them. So, you have to act according to the person. You can't blindly activate the alchemic fire bomb. The Xianqin ancestor nodded in satisfaction. He was very satisfied with Kong Xiaoming's comprehension. That Lin Yi should be a fire and wood attribute cultivator, right? I heard that he is also an alchemist. Kong Mingming thought for a moment and said, Then I will use the fire attribute pill fire to form a pill fire. That should be enough to deal with him. This should be. What kinds of pill fire can you condense now? Patriarch Xianqin asked. Reporting to Master, I can condense the fire attribute and wood attribute pill fire now. I haven't tried the others. Kong Mingming answered truthfully. Oh, not bad. But from now on, you have to start trying to condense the fire of other attributes. Patriarch Xianqin nodded and said, You don't have to be too familiar with it. As long as you can successfully condense it, you can continue condensing it. You don't have to consider changing the intensity and temperature of the fire because you are not using it for alchemy. You are only using it to activate the pill fire bomb. Of course, the higher the intensity and temperature of the fire, the faster the speed of condensation. Therefore, it is also beneficial to be familiar with it. Yes, Master. I understand. I will immediately go back and study hard. Kong Mingming hurriedly said. Well, you are not busy. You are one of the elders in charge of this trial. There is still the matter of the trial rewards and awards. It is not too late to practice after you are done. Patriarch Xianqin said lightly. Yes, Master. Kong Mingming cupped his fists and said. After saying goodbye, Kong Mingming went to take care of the Sky Elixir trial. However, when Kong Mingming saw that Lin Yi's name had been added to the list of people who had passed, he was instantly enraged. He didn't think that Lin Yi would actually make it out. He thought that Lin Yi had died in the Five Evils Wildlands, But Lin Yi had actually returned to the Sky Elixir in safely after 20 days of the trial. He even got the pill for the trial and reported the results of his trial to Shopkeeper Sunday. Shopkeeper's son didn't have the authority to do so. And while the two were the last to pass the test, he didn't have the authority to judge whether or not the two had the qualifications to pass the test, and so he had to report this to Silkworm Transformation. Tian Chan, naturally, wouldn't obstruct this matter. Putting aside her relationship with Lin Yi, even Zhang Naipeo was someone that the Xianqian elder valued. There was no need for her to stop them. So, she directly added their names to the list. However, Kong Mingming wasn't so happy. Lin Yi wasn't dead, but he actually passed the trial and got the reward? Kong Mingming sighed and decided to ask Silkworm Transformation to see if they could disqualify Lin Yi from passing the trial. Little Peach reported that Kong Mingming wanted to see her, and Tian Chan didn't stop him. She waved her hand and had Little Peach bring him in. Little Ming greets the young master. Kong Mingming had the Xianqian elder as his master, but he knew that he still had to stay in the Sky Elixir sect. If he didn't kiss up to Silkworm Transformation and make things difficult for him, there was nothing he could do. If the Xianqian elder thought that he wasn't good enough, then he'd be in deep trouble. Oh, it's Little Ming. What's the matter? Tian Chan looked at Kong Mingming and asked calmly. Compared to the Tian Chan in the Five Evils Wildlands, she was like a completely different person. Now that she was back in the Sky Elixir sect, she was no longer Tian Chan, but the cold Silkworm Transformation. Young Master, I'm here for the list of winners of the Sky Elixir sect's trial. You see, Lin Yi came back after the trial was over. He has already passed the trial's maximum time limit of 20 days. Should we cancel his qualification to pass the trial? Kong Mingming suggested. Since Lin Yi didn't die, he wouldn't let Lin Yi have an easy time. Oh, I'm the one who decided this. As long as the trial taker gets the elixir, he passes the trial. The time doesn't matter. Tian Chan said calmly. Little Ming, is there anything else? This. Kong Mingming was stunned. He didn't expect that Tian Chan would reject his proposal directly. He was a little unwilling, but he didn't dare to argue with Tian Chan. He could only persuade her. Young Master, Lin Yi is the enemy of our Sky Elixir sect. My master, Xianqian elder, hates him very much. Let's set him up to help my master vent his hatred. Chapter 2873. As I said, this is my decision. The name list has been sent out, Tian Chan said. I see, but we are not willing to give Lin Yi a third-grade elixir. We have paid so much to exchange the elixir formula with him. Kong Mingming pretended to be regretful and said, How about we give him the elixir on the surface, but secretly send someone to snatch it back? In this way, not only will we not lose face, but we can also reduce the loss of our heavenly elixir sect and help my master vent his anger. What, Little Ming? Do you think that you can criticize the affairs of the heavenly elixir sect just because you are my junior brother? Or do you want to usurp power? Tian Chan's eyes became fierce. She looked at Kong Mingming coldly, and her voice became bone-chilling. Under the cliff of the Five Fiends mountain range, he had 2 third-grade recover pills with him, but Lin Yi did not take any of them secretly. At this moment, Tian Chan let Lin Yi pass the trial, but he deserved it. How could she let Tian Chan rob Lin Yi again? No, Kong Mingming suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. He found that he was indeed a little complacent and eager for revenge. He forgot the strict rules of the heavenly elixir sect. Although he was the disciple of Ancestor Xianqian, how could he be compared with the heavenly Silkworm Transformation? Elder Kong, I know you are doing this for the good of the heavenly elixir sect. However, the heavenly elixir sect holds a trial for the participants to earn money for the sect and obtain elixirs at the same time. If the heavenly elixir sect continues to do such shady things behind the scenes, then who would want to participate in the trial in the future? Tian Chan's tone softened as she said, "You can leave now. I have my own plans." "Yes, thank you for your understanding." Kong Ming wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and said carefully. Kong Ming carefully left the silkworm transformation room. He was very unwilling. Although Lin Yi had gotten the pill, he had exceeded the time limit. It was normal for him to be disqualified. The others couldn't say anything. Why didn't the silkworm transformation agree? Thinking of this, Kong Ming decided to look for Patriarch Xianqin again. Patriarch Xianqin hated Lin Yi. He believed that as long as Kong Ming explained the reason, Patriarch Xianqin would definitely agree. As long as Patriarch Xianqin gave the word, even the heavenly silkworm transformation would be helpless. When he arrived at Patriarch Black Earth's room again, Kong Ming knocked on the door. "Who?" Patriarch Black Earth asked. "Master, it's me," Kong Ming said carefully. "Kong Ming? Why are you back again?" Patriarch Black Earth was a little puzzled when he heard Kong Ming's voice. He didn't know why Kong Ming had returned. "Master, I have something to report to you. Do you have time?" Kong Xiaoming walked in and asked with fear and trepidation. "Oh, go ahead. You and I are master and disciple. If there's anything, just report it. There's no need to ask anymore." Patriarch Black Earth waved his hand and said, "Yes." Kong Ming was surprised and happy. He nodded and said, "It's like this. Lin Yi also passed the trial, but I feel that he was the last to come out. He has already exceeded the 20-day limit. Should we disqualify him from the trial? You should talk to the young master of the silkworm transformation about this, not me. Although I'm your master and the uncle master of the silkworm transformation, I won't interfere with other sex affairs." Patriarch Black Earth waved his hand and said, "You can suggest this to the silkworm transformation directly. There's no need to ask me." "Master, I have asked, but I don't know why the young master didn't agree. I had no choice but to tell you." Kong Ming smiled bitterly and said, "Lin Yi is our enemy. I'm also thinking about the sect, but the young master also has his reasons." He said. Kong Ming didn't dare to sow discord. He just told the truth and told Patriarch Black Earth the reason for the silkworm transformation. "Oh, I'll talk to him about this." Patriarch Black Earth listened to Kong Ming's explanation. Although he felt that the silkworm transformation was for the reputation of the heavenly elixir sex trial, there was also a reason to disqualify Lin Yi. He had exceeded the time limit of the trial. Master is wise. Only Master can talk to the young master about this. Kong Xiaoming was overjoyed when he heard this. "And Little Peach," Patriarch Black Earth then called out. The voice of a heaven stage expert didn't need to be loud, but it was extremely penetrating. Although Little Peach wasn't at the door, she heard it. Little Peach rushed over and asked carefully, "Patriarch Black Earth, may I ask why you are looking for Little Peach?" "Go and ask the silkworm transformation to come here. I have something to talk to him about," Patriarch Black Earth ordered. "Yes." Little Peach quickly responded and turned to look for the silkworm transformation. Not long after, Tian Chan came to Patriarch Black Earth's room and saw that Kong Ming was also here. She couldn't help but be a little surprised, but she didn't ask. She just asked respectfully, "Martial uncle, why are you looking for me?" "It's like this. I asked Kong Ming to ask you how Lin Yi obtained the qualification to pass the trial." Patriarch Black Earth wasn't an idiot. He took all the responsibility on himself and excluded Kong Ming. He only said that he had sent Kong Ming to ask. Tian Chan was slightly taken aback. She didn't expect Patriarch Black Earth to personally ask about this matter. However, Tian Chan had been in a high position for a long time and quickly thought of a countermeasure. She explained calmly, "Martial uncle, Zhang Naipeo, who came back with Lin Yi, also passed the trial. If Lin Yi's qualification is revoked, then Zhang Naipeo's qualification will also be revoked. In this way on your side, oh, there's also Zhang Naipeo. Patriarch Black Earth suddenly understood and nodded. I understand. Silkworm transformation, you can go back. This matter is settled. They have all passed the trial. Okay, Marshal Uncle. Tian Chan nodded. Then I will take my leave. Okay, go do what you need to do. Patriarch Black Earth didn't say anything more. After Silkworm transformation left, Kong Mingming was a little confused, but it wasn't appropriate for him to ask. He just looked at Patriarch Black Earth strangely. Kong Mingming, things aren't as simple as you think. Lin Yi is fine, but Zhang Naipeo has the everyday and everyday sect behind him. I need to use them in the future. It's necessary to give them some benefits. It's not worth going against the everyday and everyday sect for these small things, Patriarch Black Earth said. Chapter 2874. I know you're eager to take revenge on Lin Yi, but this isn't just about Lin Yi. The Sky Silk transformation has its own reasons. Don't always come to complain. I can protect you this time, but she might suspect something the next time. At the end of the day, you still have to work for the Sky Elixir sect, the Xianqin elder warned Kong Mingming. Yes, I won't do it again. Thank you, Master, for covering for me. Kong Mingming said quickly. And, right, didn't you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve? Tell me, can we change the way we deal with Lin Yi? The Xianqin elder didn't have anything else to do, and since Kong Mingming was here, he decided to discuss with him. This is the only thing I can think of. Kong Mingming scratched his head, unable to think of any good ideas. We've already promised to make a Qi gathering pill for him, and we still have to make the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill. That's too good for him. That's right, Lord Master. Can we do something to the elixir? For example, make a poison pill and kill Lin Yi. Poison pill? That's not possible. Lin Yi isn't an idiot. How could he not know if we poisoned him? Don't forget why he went against House Kong in the first place. He's a powerful doctor, an elixir refiner. It's basically impossible for you to use poison. The Xianqin elder shook his head. That's true. Then, Kong Mingming really couldn't think of any other ideas. That's right, now that you've reminded me. I suddenly thought of a pill recipe. This method is really feasible. The Xianqin elder suddenly had an idea and said, I have a very bad recipe. It's called the Extreme Qi Gathering Pill. It's also a type of Qi gathering pill, and it was also modified by my master Zhang Liju based on the ancient True Qi gathering pill, turning it into a third-level pill, but there was a huge flaw. Therefore, it was thrown aside and never used again. Oh, what defects? Kong Mingming quickly asked. It's like this. This extreme Qi gathering pill has the effect of leveling up a Qi gathering pill, and it can also unleash the potential of the cultivator. While the cultivator absorbs the pure energy in the pill, he must also absorb a large amount of heaven and earth spirit Qi. The effect is also much greater than that of a normal Qi gathering pill. He can continuously break through and level up. Patriarch Xianqin explained. Honorable Master, forgive your disciple for being slow-witted. This extreme Qi gathering pill is a super good pill. How can you say it's a bad pill? It's not bad at all. After eating it, you can level up continuously. How can you give such a good thing to Lin Yi? Kong Mingming asked curiously. I'm not done yet. Patriarch Xianqin waved his hand, indicating for Kong Mingming to listen slowly. He continued, I've already said that after taking this extreme Qi gathering pill, you must absorb a large amount of heaven and earth spirit Qi. If you don't absorb enough, you will suffer a backlash. If it's light, your meridians will break. If it's heavy, your body will explode. What if Lin Yi absorbs the heaven and earth spirit Qi? Kong Mingming felt that this pill was indeed flawed, but this was only one of the possibilities. Do you think there's still a place that can absorb so much heaven and earth spirit chi now? It's no longer possible in my master's era. Even the chi density in the five evils land is not enough. Where would Lin Yi go to absorb that heaven and earth spirit chi? If he can't, Patriarch Xianchen laughed sinisterly. That's right. Honorable Master is still the best. You've thought of such a vicious method. It seems that the older, the wiser. After Kong Mingming heard this, he praised excitedly. Honorable Master, your idea is wonderful. Hee, this pill looks good on the surface, but it's actually a poison. Most importantly, although the refining materials required for the extreme qi gathering pill and the extreme qi gathering pill are not the same. After it's refined, whether it's color or fragrance, it's almost the same. There's no difference, Patriarch Xianqin said. After Lin Yi gets it, he shouldn't have any doubts. Hee, that's great. Kong Mingming chuckled. Honorable Master, when do we start refining it? If you want to refine it, you have to prepare. This extreme qi gathering pill requires a lot of heaven and earth treasures. It also requires the materials of the qi gathering pill. However, it's not one portion, but 3 portions to produce one pill. When Patriarch Xianqin said this, he felt a little heartache. I actually need to invest so much to trick Lin Yi. I'm really a little unwilling. Honorable Master, as the saying goes, you can't catch the wolf if you don't sacrifice the child. We can't kill Lin Yi if we don't sacrifice the medicinal materials. Kong Mingming comforted. But the difficulty and time of this refining is also relatively high. You should study it and refine it yourself. My alchemy skills are average, so I can only leave this matter to you, Patriarch Xianqin said. Don't worry, Honorable Master. In the future, I will focus on refining this extreme qi gathering pill. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Kong Mingming quickly patted his chest and promised. Refining this extreme qi gathering pill seemed to be very difficult, but for the sake of dealing with Lin Yi, Kong Mingming decided to grit his teeth and persevere. In fact, after Patriarch Xianqin said this, he felt a pain in his heartache. So many materials. The 5 Elements sect was rich, but they were basically running out of resources. If it weren't for Boss by there, he wouldn't be able to fight Lin Yi head-on. He wouldn't have used this method to deal with Lin Yi, but this was a good method. It killed without a trace, and so the Xianqin ancestor gritted his teeth and agreed. After Lin Yi gave his pill to shopkeeper's son, he went back to his room to wait for news. When he got back, he saw that Chi-Chi was awake. Chi-Kuan, Feng Spian, Li Siba, and Guxian had already left. Chi-Chi woke up to find no one in the room. She was a little lost. She didn't know how she came to this place. She remembered that she was under the cliff of the 5 Fiends Mountains. Could it be that she and Lin Yi were saved? Chi-Chi didn't remember what happened before she fainted. Her mind wasn't clear at the time, and she couldn't remember what had happened. Was it Lin Yi who saved her? Chi-Chi was still in a daze when the door opened. She looked at the door cautiously, but the person who came in was Lin Yi. Chapter 2875. It had been a long time since they reunited, and the emotions Lin Yi had been suppressing for so long were released in an instant. Lin Yi wasn't in the mood to feel the joy of this reunion when Chi-Chi was unconscious, but now it was different. Lin Yi couldn't help but rush over and hug Chi-Chi on the bed. It was an instinctive action. When Lin Yi was training alone, Yang Xiao or Xiao Qi would always be waiting for him on the way back. Lin Yi would always give her a hug whenever he saw her. A hug didn't mean anything to a childhood sweetheart. It was just the joy of seeing Yang Xiao. And it was the same for Lin Yi right now. The moment he recognized Chi-Chi, he subconsciously did something he hadn't done in a long time. Chi-Chi wasn't expecting Lin Yi to throw himself at her the moment he stepped in. Was he trying to push her down? Chi-Chi only realized then that this was Lin Yi's room. What was he doing? Chi-Chi sent a kick at Lin Yi, yelling, "What are you doing? You pervert!" Ugh. Lin Yi's arms that were about to hug Chi-Chi froze in midair. He looked at Chi-Chi, stunned, not even bothering to dodge the kick. Chi-Chi's kick didn't hurt anyway. She wasn't Tian-chan, and Lin Yi didn't need to be on guard. One kick wouldn't kill him. "Lin Yi, what are you doing?" Chi-Chi glared at Lin Yi. She remembered how Lin Yi roasted fish for her under the cliff, and she thought that Lin Yi was a very, very nice person. If her heart wasn't already occupied by that person, she might actually fall in love with Lin Yi. But now Lin Yi was doing something so vulgar to her. All of the good impression Chi-Chi had of Lin Yi was gone. All that was left was anger and frustration. "Lil Chi, Lin Yi slapped his forehead, suddenly remembering that Chi-Chi was still in a daze when they reunited. She probably couldn't tell if it was a dream or reality. Now that she was awake, naturally, she didn't know that he was her Lily big bro. It was no wonder that she was pissed at him for hugging her so abruptly. Thus, Lin Yi smiled bitterly and quickly said, "Little Seven, you don't recognize me?" "I do." Chi-Chi was taken aback by Lin Yi's question. Why was Lin Yi asking something like this all of a sudden? Could it be that something had happened after he and I came out from the cliff? Did he lose his memory? Otherwise, why would Lin Yi ask this? Could it be that she had forgotten something? These were things that happened when she was with Lin Yi? Chi-Chi frowned. But that didn't make sense. She already had that person in her heart. How could she accept Lin Yi? "You know him." Lin Yi blinked. "Then you. Lin Yi, what happened?" Chi-Chi calmed down as well. She was an assassin, and she was very good at reading people's expressions. Lin Yi's surprise and bitter smile didn't seem fake, so she asked carefully after some hesitation. "Lil Chi, it's been so many years. Have you heard from Master?" Lin Yi didn't know how to explain his identity, so he changed his approach. "Master?" Chi-Chi paused. "Your master? Is Master Wang all right? Why would she let you come out alone?" Lin Yi continued. Why woo?" Chi-Chi's eyes went wide as she stared at Lin Yi in disbelief. Lin Yi's words before were a bit out of the ordinary, but this one was very obvious. Master Wang. Her mother's surname was Wang, too, and Lin Yi said that she let him come out alone. Then who was Lin Yi? "You went to the Dragon of Five Wrath to cure the 9th princess? Her illness. You found a way?" Lin Yi ignored Chi-Chi's surprised face and continued to ask. "You. Who are you?" Chi-Chi looked at Lin Yi as if she'd seen a ghost. "I thought you remembered when I was roasting the mud fish for you. You remembered what happened on the island when we were kids." Lin Yi smiled. Your eye bro." Chi-Chi looked at Lin Yi shocked. It wasn't as if she hadn't thought that Lin Yi was her eye bro when he said those things, but the image of Lin Yi had always been too different from eye bro plus. Chi-Chi didn't treat him well at first, so she'd forgotten about it. But now that she thought about it, Lin Yi wasn't that person. Only that person would know these things about him. Only that person would know about the memories that belonged to the two of them on the deserted island. Only that person would call him Little Seven and hug him when he saw him. Haha, I didn't think that you'd be Xiao Qi sis either. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. He had to admit that this was a bit of a cliché, but childhood playmates were too different in appearance. Who would have thought that it would be a coincidence like this? Why didn't you say so earlier? Chi-Chi jumped up from the bed and jumped into Lin Yi's arms, feeling the warmth of his embrace. She cried tears of joy. That's great. I don't have to kill you anymore. Lin Yi almost burst out laughing at Chi-Chi's words. What was this cool girl thinking? It's still about killing me? I'm sorry, bro, I didn't know you were Lin Yi. That's why I wanted to kill you. I was so mean to you before, and you were so nice to me. Xiao Qi is so bad. Chi-Chi cried in Lin Yi's arms. Bad. I didn't think that you'd want to kill me because of me. I've thought it through now, and I won't blame you. Lin Yi's words sounded like a mistake, but they both knew what he meant. But Lin Yi was a bit shaken as well. There were some things he didn't say. He really didn't think that his childhood sweetheart would have that kind of feelings for him. Lin Yi had always treated Xiao Qi as a sister and didn't think too much about it. He just wanted to protect her, to take care of her. But now, Lin Yi didn't say anything. Chapter 2876. Yeah. Chi-Chi felt like the knot in her heart was unraveled. As long as Lin Yi understood, she didn't need to explain anything anymore. Chi-Chi couldn't find the words to express what she was feeling right now. Some of the old sayings really did make sense. The person she'd been thinking about all this time was actually right beside her, helping her, saving her. They didn't know it at the time, but thinking about it now was a different kind of feeling. Can you answer my questions now? Lin Yi hugged Chi-Chi for a long time. Chi-Chi didn't say anything, so he asked. Ah. Chi-Chi blinked, blushing a little. Yeah. There's still no news from my father. He hasn't contacted us. My mom and the others are worried, but they haven't been able to get in touch with my dad. My family's fine, but my dad's power and influence aren't what they used to be after he left. Plus, he didn't leave any connections in the practitioner world, either, and that's why I've been working so hard to find medicine for Lil 9. I see. Lin Yi nodded. It was true his Shifu was famous in the common world of assassins, but he didn't leave any connections in the practitioner world for Lin Yi. This was also why Lin Yi was working so hard these days. If he had a sect like Zhang Naipeo's, then Lin Yi wouldn't need to work so hard, going through such a dangerous test just for the Qi Gathering Pill and the Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. Lil 9, how is she? From what you've been doing, it seems like it's pretty serious. Yeah, the medicine I got from the practitioner's market failed, so I had to look for something related to earth elements. The dragon of 5 wraiths is a spirit beast of the 5 elements, and its claws are earth elements. That's why I'm here. Chi-Chi said, Lil 9's problem? I'm not too sure myself. I've asked someone from the association to look into it, and they said that it's because there's too much earth element in her body, and she hasn't activated it yet. At first, she couldn't walk, but now it's getting worse and worse, and her entire lower body is limp, like a pile of mud. It's getting worse and worse, and if it's not treated in time, it'll be like soft bones. Soft bones? Lin Yi blinked, but he was sure that Lil 9 wasn't soft bones. Even old Lin couldn't tell what the problem was. How could it be soft bones? But there was one thing that made Lin Yi curious. Why did the Earth Spirit Beast's medicine fail? After all, the Overseas Cultivators Association is different from the birthplace of martial arts cultivation here. Although there are experts there, they're not very clear about some of the ancient legends. At the beginning, they also came to the conclusion after searching a lot of information. The earth element in little Joe's body can be suppressed by something from the body of an earth attribute spirit beast. However, there is no correct way to suppress it and how to use the thing from the body of the spirit beast. We can only explore. Chi-Chi smiled bitterly. Last time when I went back, I mixed some water to soak Lil 9's body in, but it didn't work at all. Too much earth element. Lin Yi frowned. Why did this sound like Xiao Xiao? The only difference was that Xiao Xiao had too much of the yin element, while Lil 9 had too much of the earth element. But Lin Yi didn't know who to ask about this. The only people he could ask now were Boss Bai or Old Lin. With that thought, Lin Yi gave Boss Bai a call. After all, Old Lin knew about little Joe's situation and had seen it before. He didn't have any good ideas, so Lin Yi decided to ask Boss Bai first. Boss Bai was surprised when he received Lin Yi's call. Aren't you in the test? Why are you calling? Did you run into some trouble? Master Bai, I did run into some trouble. Lin Yi said honestly, are you free right now? Yes, what happened? Boss Bai's heart tightened. Lin Yi went to the Sky Elixir School's test, and he knew the relationship between the 5 Elements School and the Sky Elixir School. He was afraid that the Five Elements School would work with the Sky Elixir School to harm Lin Yi. It's like this. As Lin Yi spoke, he told Boss Bai about Lil 9 in detail. Oh, Boss Bai didn't expect Lin Yi to look for him for this, but he was relieved. As long as Lin Yi wasn't in danger, he was relieved. According to what you said, my preliminary conclusion is that the Lil 9 you mentioned may be a cultivator with an Earth attribute physique, and his physique is very pure, but he lacks an opportunity to activate it. You said that using something from an Earth attribute, spirit beast, to activate it is indeed a way. Your situation is somewhat similar to an inheritor, but I don't know the specific method. If I was still in the Five Elements School, I could easily help you inquire, but now, although Boss Bai could ask the Xianjin Great Ancestor, he had just asked the Xianjin Great Ancestor about the virtual attribute and the true attribute. If he asked other things, and the Xianjin Great Ancestor went to look for information again, it would inevitably be discovered and suspected by the Xianjin Great Ancestor. That would be bad. I see. After hearing that, Lin Yi was a bit disappointed. Mr. Bai, this person is very important to me. What do you think? How about this, after a period of time, I'll ask Xianjin again and see if he has any ideas? Boss Bai pondered and said, Thank you, Mr. Bai. Lin Yi also knew that the conversation between Boss Bai and the Xianjin Great Ancestor was very difficult, and it was inevitable that the Xianjin Great Ancestor would find out. If it wasn't for the fact that Lin Yi was very worried about Lil 9, he wouldn't have let Boss Bai take the risk. Haha, what are you thanking me for? Boss Bai smiled slightly. With our relationship, you're treating me like an outsider. And Mr. Bai, there's another piece of good news I want to tell you. Lin Yi hesitated and decided to tell Boss Bai that he had successfully obtained the inheritance of the original power. He originally wanted to tell it after going back, but saying it now would make Boss Bai happy. Plus, Yang Qiqi wasn't an outsider. She was the closest person to Lin Yi since he was young. Chapter 2877. That's true, but there's an even better piece of news. Lin Yi didn't let Boss Bai continue guessing and said directly, I've successfully obtained the inheritance of the origin power. Oh, you've successfully obtained the inheritance of the origin power? What do you mean? Boss Bai didn't understand Lin Yi's words for a moment. After all, it was a bit too shocking, and Boss Bai didn't dare to think about it at all. That's right. 5 of the virtual attributes in my body have become real attributes. Lin Yi explained, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, but not ice and mist. What? You've successfully obtained the inheritance of the origin power? In the trial ore? Boss Bai finally understood Lin Yi's words and was inexplicably shocked. He never thought that Lin Yi would actually accept the inheritance of the origin power, and it was the inheritance of the origin power of all 5 elements. Yes, it was in the trial. Lin Yi didn't hide anything and recounted what happened in the trial to Boss Bai in detail. Although Tian Chan's coquettish behavior was omitted, Boss Bai could still hear that Tian Chan was special to Lin Yi. You stole her inheritance, and she came back to save you. Boss Bai was a bit stunned, but then he shook his head, thinking that this girl was really stupid. According to common sense, she was a great enemy, but she actually came to save Lin Yi and Yang Qiqi. The word love was really hard to understand. However, Boss Bai didn't want to study the matters of young people too much. He just said, if I'm not wrong, she's the spy of the 5 Elements sect. Tagon Long is the spy in the light, and the spy in the light was destroyed by you. You're really amazing. Lin Yi also didn't think that he and the 5 Elements sect were so fated. The plan of the Xianqin ancestor was completely disrupted by him. This Xianqin ancestor probably hated him to death, right? Congratulations. However, you'd better ask Tian Chan about Little 9. If she's really the spy of the 5 Elements sect, then you can ask her. She'll know more. Boss Bai said, Oh, that's right. Lin Yi slapped his head. How could he forget about Tian-chan? He had just exchanged phone numbers with her. After hanging up, Lin Yi turned around to see young Chi-Chi, looking at him with a resentful expression. Lin Yi's story with Tian-chan was very plain, but even Boss Bai could tell that something was wrong. How could young Chi-Chi not tell that there was something going on between Lin Yi and Tian-chan? Bro, that Tian-chan. Do you like her? Chi-Chi couldn't help but ask. Why are you suddenly asking this? Lin Yi was a little awkward. He'd just reunited with Chi-Chi after a long time, and while he'd always had some special feelings for her, it was something from when they were kids. Now that he thought about it, it was more like the feelings between siblings, wasn't it? However, Chi-Chi clearly didn't think of the feelings between the two as siblings. So at this time, Lin Yi was a little embarrassed to tell the truth, but he couldn't lie to Chi-Chi, so he could only change the topic. Then, little Seven won't ask. Chi-Chi looked at Lin Yi's expression and guessed something in her heart. In her heart, there was no concept of monogamy because her own father had several wives. So in Chi-Chi's education since childhood, no one deliberately instilled this concept. She was just a little jealous instinctively, but since Lin Yi didn't want to answer, she didn't ask more. She was afraid that if she asked more, it would make Lin Yi unhappy and affect the mood of their first meeting. Lin Yi blinked at Chi-Chi's response. He wasn't expecting Chi-Chi to stop asking just like that. Lin Yi was surprised. As long as Shao-Chi is in your heart, bro, Shao-Chi will be satisfied. Chi-Chi didn't want to lose this long-awaited happiness. She didn't even dare ask about Tian-chan's identity, afraid that Lin Yi would get angry. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It's nothing, actually. We're just good friends, I guess. I'll tell you if you want to hear it. No need. Chi-Chi shook her head. My mom said that girls shouldn't ask so much. I don't want bro to hate me. Huh. Lin Yi suddenly realized how cute Chi-Chi was right in front of him. That cool girl from before was pretty dumb when it came to relationships as well. Bro, hurry up and call that Tian-chan sis and ask about Lil Jio, okay? Chi-Chi was more concerned about Lil Jio's condition than jealousy. If Tian-chan could do something about it, then she wouldn't have any thoughts about Tian-chan at all. Yeah, I'll call her now. Lin Yi nodded and called Tian-chan's phone. It didn't take long for Tian-chan's phone to pick up, but no one picked up after a couple of rings. Lin Yi only put the phone down when there was no response. Could it be that Tian-chan didn't have her phone with her? Bro, it didn't go through? Chi-Chi asked, a little worried. She didn't pick up. Maybe she doesn't have her phone with her. Lin Yi said. Oh. Chi-Chi nodded. Let's wait then. She might call back when she sees it. Don't worry too much. Lin Yi comforted. He wasn't sure if Tian-chan would be able to call back. After all, Tian-chan was a spy of the Five Element sect. That meant that she couldn't have as much freedom as the others. Yeah. Chi-Chi nodded. Right, bro, why are you looking for rainbow steel, blue crystal powder, and pure yellow jade? I need these materials to make something like a weapon. Lin Yi didn't hide the fact that he might become a blacksmith in front of Chi-Chi. Right, Lil Chi, you said that there's a blue crystal up for auction, is that right? That's right, there's a blue crystal, but I don't know when it'll be auctioned. I'll keep an eye out for it and let you know. Chi-Chi said, All right, I'll leave this to you then. I won't say any more words of thanks, Lin Yi said with a smile. Yeah, it's fine. Lil, Chi will keep an eye out for bro, Chi-Chi said quickly. I'll ask around for you when I get back. The two had just reunited, and naturally there were a lot of things to talk about. As for Tian-chan, Lin Yi's guess was right. Tian-chan really did run into something. Chapter 2878. Earth Diamond Star was a sky-class mid-phase, but he had no advantage against Naipeo at all. He knew that Naipeo had returned to the inn, but he didn't dare cause trouble for him. Instead, he came to Tian-chan for help. Young Master Tian, our Yellow Earth sect may be a Western sect, but we've always been friends with the Sky Elixir and 5 elements sects in the Central Plains. We're good friends, and we've cooperated a lot. This time our young Master 2 was beaten up like this by Zhang Naipeo. You guys can't just ignore this. Earth Diamond Star said with tears and snot as he knelt in front of Tian Chan, hoping that Tian Chan could help him. Earth Diamond Star, I understand how you feel, but the only thing our Sky Elixir sect can do is give you a great recovery pill. There's nothing else we can do. Tian Chan awkwardly said, although the Yellow Earth High Sect is a friendly sect of our Heavenly Elixir sect, isn't the Everyday and Everyday sect also? But we still need to find and raise an Earth element inheritor. Young Master Tian, we're allies. If something happens to our young Master 2, how can our sect find and nurture a successor with peace of mind? Earth Diamond Star said. Plus, our young Master Tian came to the Central Plains this time to find an Earth element inheritor. Only our young Master 2 can sense and discover the bloodline of the Earth element. If something happens to him, it'll affect our future plans. Earth Diamond Star, didn't I tell you? Our Sky Elixir sect will give you a great recovery pill, but you'll have to think of something else yourself. Tian Chan said with a bitter smile, We've brought a great recovery pill, but it can only extend young Master 2's life. It can't save our young master. Earth Diamond Star said. Even if we can't cause trouble for the Everyday and Everyday sect, young Master Tian, you have to think of something. This was Earth Diamond Star's true goal, after all. He didn't want to cause trouble for Naipeo. He and Tu Xiaowang weren't as skilled as Naipeo. They were injured by Naipeo. This was their own fault, and they couldn't blame anyone else. However, he really had no way to save Tu Xiaowang. Even the Great Recover Pill had no effect, and the sects in the western region had traveled a long distance. Tu Xiaowang definitely couldn't go back. Even if he went back, he would be helpless. His injuries were too serious. Tian Chan was also having a headache. She had sent someone to check on 2 overlords' injury, and it could be said that it was comparable to Tagan Dragon's. If 2 overlord could be cured, then Tagan Dragon would have been cured long ago. Then the 5 Elements sect wouldn't need to use her, a spy. Now, even the 5 Elements sect and the Heavenly Elixir sect were helpless, so how could she help the Earth Diamond Star? Earth Diamond Star, I won't hide it from you. I really don't have any ideas on my side. However, I can help you think of something. If I think of a way, I will inform you immediately, Tian Chan said after a moment of silence. Sigh. Thank you, young sect leader Tian. The Earth Diamond Star could also hear the perfunctory tone in Tian Chan's words, but he also came with an attitude of giving it a try. Yellow Earth sect couldn't do anything. So what could the Heavenly Elixir sect do? He was here to try his luck. After sending the Earth Diamond Star away, Tian Chan also had a headache. However, this wasn't a small matter. She still had to talk to Ancestor Xianzhan and Ancestor Xianchen. After all, it might affect the future inheritor's plan. At this moment, Ancestor Xianchen and Ancestor Xianzhen were calculating the results of this trial. In this trial, we successfully retrieved a total of 17 spiritual herbs. Second senior brother, this is a little more than the previous trials. Can you see if it's enough? Ancestor Xianchen reported the number of spiritual herbs to Ancestor Xianzhen. Oh, 17? Wasn't there 15 before? Why are there 2 more? Ancestor Xianzhen paused. If there are 17, it should be enough. Every 5 can be used to make 1 golden pellet. Including the ones from before, it should be enough for the Sky Class Island plan. There were 15 before, but after that, Zhang Naipeo and Lin Yi passed the trial as well, so there were 2 more. Ancestor Xianqin explained. In fact, Zhang Naipeo had more than 1 spiritual herb at the start, but when he was attacked by the spirit beast, he lost his backpack somewhere. This was something he picked up on the way back. Lin Yi's one was given to him by Tian Chan, and he didn't pick it up himself. Oh, Zhang Naipeo and Lin Yi passed the trial? Tian Chan is back? Ancestor Xianzhen's face changed when he heard this. Tian Chan was back, and Zhang Naipeo and Lin Yi had passed the trial as well, but he hadn't received any news of this at all. Five Element Sect and Sky Elixir Sect seemed to belong to the ancestor Xianqin. But why didn't Tian Chan report to him? What he didn't know was that after Tian Chan came back, she was busy dealing with business, and then she was bothered by Kong Mingming and the ancestor Xianqin. After that, she talked to Earth Diamond Star from Yellow Earth High Sect for a long time, and didn't have the chance to meet the ancestor alone. Yes, they passed the trial, so I came to tell you immediately, second senior brother. Don't worry, Tian Chan will be fine, and so will eldest senior brother's disciple, Lin Yi, Patriarch Xianqin said with a warm expression, as if he had just found out about this. But didn't they stay in the 5-element wildlands for more than 20 days? Why are they still fine? The ancestor Xianzhen was a bit surprised. Lin Yi's body wasn't invaded by the 5-element qi. But Zhang Naipeo was easy to understand. Zhang Naipeo's fine, it's because of his practitioner's arts. He'll be fine. Oh, according to Tian Chan, Lin Yi seems to have come to some sort of agreement with Naipeo. Not only is Lin Yi fine, but he's also carrying the girl back, and he seems to be fine as well. At least, Manager Sun didn't sense any traces of Five's malice on them. So Naipeo must have used his wasp absorption arts to suck the Five's malice out. The ancestor Xianqin said. He didn't know why Zhang Naipeo and Lin Yi had come to some kind of agreement, but he couldn't ask Tian Chan too much in front of Kong Mingming. Oh, no wonder. The ancestor Zhen nodded. As the two were talking, there was a knock on the door. Those who dared to knock here were all important people. If it wasn't Tianji Star, then it was Tiandi Ren or Tian Chan. So the ancestor Xianqin said directly, "Come in." Disciple Tian Chan greets master, uncle. Tian Chan came in and bowed respectfully. Chapter 2879. Master, uncle, the follower of the Yellow Earth High Sects, Tu Junwang, found me on Earth Diamond Planet, complaining about Zhang Naipeo and wanting us to save him. Tian Chan smiled bitterly. I told him that there's nothing we can do, but from the looks of it, he won't let this go so easily. Oh, the Xianzhen ancestor heard Tian Chan's words and said, "Wasn't Tu Junwang injured by Zhang Naipeo? Didn't they say that his injuries were severe and couldn't be saved?" "Yes, but they used the Great Recovery Pill to prolong their lives." Tian Chan said, "I have an idea," the Xianzhen ancestor said. Patriarch Xuanqin's mind spun, and he had a trick up his sleeve. "I think we can get him to look for Lin Yi." Lin Yi? Tian Chan paused, and the Xianzhen ancestor was confused as well, not knowing what to do with Lin Yi. "Find Lin Yi, of course, for Tu Junwang." The Xianzhen ancestor smiled faintly. "It's simple, isn't Lin Yi Zhang Naipeo's nemesis? Falling into Naipeo's trap. And not only was he fine, he was even able to come to an agreement with Naipeo during the test, allowing Naipeo to absorb the 5 malice qi from his and his companions' bodies. Just how amazing was that? So I think we should find Lin Yi for this. Lin Yi is so strong. He'll definitely have a way. Plus, Boss Bai's injuries have healed, haven't they? Lin Yi might even have a supreme grade, Great Recovery Pill on his side. How is that possible? The Xianzhen ancestor's face changed. This was clearly causing trouble for Lin Yi. Lin Yi and Naipeo might not have some secret deal. It was basically impossible for Lin Yi to get anything from Naipeo, and the Xianzhen ancestor said that Lin Yi had an extreme grade Great Recovery Pill. If the Yellow Earth High Sect knew about this, wouldn't Lin Yi never be able to rest in peace? Even if Lin Yi didn't have it, the Yellow Earth High Sect had to believe it. If there was even the slightest possibility that their young master Tu Junwang would wake up, they'd go find Lin Yi and force Lin Yi to give them the Great Recovery Pill. This way, Lin Yi might be interrogated, just like last time when the Xianqin ancestor sent Little 1 and Little 11 to deal with Lin Yi. Naturally, the Xianqin ancestor objected. "Second brother, I'm doing this for Linny, okay? He's the disciple of Big Brother, and it's good for him to make friends with a large ancient sect, like the Yellow Earth High Sect. One more friend means one more path. The Xianxin ancestor waved his hand and said faintly, "All right, this matter is decided." Tian Chan was slightly shocked. Before, when the Xianxin ancestor didn't mention Lin Yi, she didn't think about Lin Yi. But now that the Xianxin ancestor mentioned Lin Yi, Tian Chan immediately remembered what happened between her and Lin Yi under the cliff of the Five Fiends Mountains. At that time, her injuries were so serious that Tian Chan was sure that even if she had the recover pill, it would be impossible for her to recover so quickly and easily. However, Lin Yi miraculously healed her injuries, and Lin Yi's own injuries were also healed. It was the same for his hand that was pierced on the cliff. Lin Yi quickly healed these injuries. Thinking of this, Tian Chan hoped that Lin Yi could obtain the alliance support of the Yellow Earth High Sect. She believed that with Tian Chan coordinating this matter, it would not be difficult for the Yellow Earth High Sect to be grateful to Lin Yi. However, Tian Chan had unknowingly hoped that Lin Yi could obtain a powerful helper. "Martial Uncle, I will contact the Earth Diamond Planet in a while and ask him to visit Lin Yi to see if this matter can be resolved," Tian Chan said calmly on the surface. Tian Chan's words stunned Patriarch Xinzhen and Patriarch Xianxin. "Tian Chan, do you really not understand the problem, or?" Patriarch Xianzhen's expression changed slightly. He did not expect Tian Chan to agree to Patriarch Xuanxin's request. After all, this was not an order but a discussion. Patriarch Xianzhen still had a way to reverse this matter. It was not necessary for the Earth Diamond Planet to find Lin Yi. He believed that as long as Patriarch Xianzhen insisted, Patriarch Xianxin would not force him to do it. However, Tian Chan's agreement was equivalent to a hammer strike. Young sect Master Tian is very righteous. Patriarch Xuanxin's eyes narrowed slightly. He could not help but think of something. Tian Chan failed to accept the inheritance. In the future, she would definitely become the young sect master of the Heavenly Elixir sect. Tian Chan was not suitable to be the young sect master. In the future, she could become a great elder or even a supreme elder. In this way, Tian Chan naturally had to build a good relationship between the Heavenly Elixir sect and the Five Elements sect. As the actual controller of the Five Elements sect, Patriarch Xianxin, it was reasonable for Tian Chan to be attentive to him. This made Patriarch Xianxin very satisfied. He thought, although Tian Chan is the disciple of Patriarch Xianzhen, for the sake of the Heavenly Elixir sect, she has no choice but to side with me. In the future, it is impossible for her to sit on the position of sect master without my support. Master, disciple has no choice. If we don't move the trouble of the Earth Diamond Planet away in time and something really happens to the Earth Tyrant in the territory of the Heavenly Elixir sect, both the Heavenly Elixir sect and the Five Elements sect will have to bear great responsibility. At that time, when the Yellow Earth sect comes looking for us, it will not be good for either side to fall out with each other, Tian Chan explained. She seemed to be fair, but in fact, she was speaking for Patriarch Xianxin. "You!" Patriarch Xuanxin's chest heaved up and down. He looked angrily at the proud disciple he had raised since she was a child. She was almost like his own daughter. One day, she actually betrayed Patriarch Xianxin. This was simply unacceptable. However, he could not fall out with Patriarch Xianxin in front of him. After all, the Heavenly Elixir sect was a vassal of the Five Elements sect. There was no problem for Tian Chan to listen to Patriarch Xianxin. This was a problem that could not be discussed openly. "Master, disciple is doing this for the sake of righteousness," Tian Chan said calmly. "You. Very good." Patriarch Xuanxin took a deep breath and stood up. Without looking at Tian Chan, he strode out of the room. "I'm tired. I'm going to study alchemy." "Master." Tian Chan sighed slightly in her heart. She could only find an opportunity to explain. Ever since Tian Chan knew that Patriarch Xianqin still wanted to deal with Lin Yi, Tian Chan decided to get closer to Patriarch Xianqin. She wanted to understand his plans at any time. This way, she could warn Lin Yi in advance so that Lin Yi would not be tricked. Chapter 2880. Disciple, I don't know. Tian Chan smiled bitterly. And Tian Chan, you're not bad. Although you can't carry out that plan, managing and developing the Heavenly Elixir sect is a good way out. I have high hopes for you, Patriarch Xianqin said. Yes, Martial Uncle. Please train me in the future. Tian Chan cupped her fists and said, And you can leave now. Go and reply to that Earth Diamond planet as soon as possible. Don't let him wait too long. After all, he is our ally, right? Patriarch Xianqin instructed. Disciple will go and find him now. Tian Chan quickly responded. Tian Chan returned to her residence and casually glanced at her phone. She didn't know why, but after returning from the trial, Tian Chan had a habit of looking at her phone. She felt unhappy if she didn't look at it, but she felt a little disappointed when she looked at it. In the past, Tian Chan didn't look at her phone even once in half a month. She didn't even turn it on because the Heavenly Elixir sect still maintained many ancient customs. If there was something, the disciples and servants would pass the message. Seeing that there was a missed call on her phone, Tian Chan was slightly stunned. She quickly checked it nervously. It was actually a familiar number. Did he call me? I was just about to call him and tell him about the pros and cons of this matter. I didn't expect him to call first. Thinking of this, Tian Chan quickly pressed the callback button. Tian Chan? Lin Yi didn't expect Tian Chan to call back so quickly. He quickly picked up the phone. It's me. Hearing this familiar voice, Tian Chan had a special feeling in her heart. Are you looking for me? Are you okay? Lin Yi's words turned into a question. I'm fine. How about you? After Tian Chan asked, she felt that it was unnecessary. Tian Chan knew Lin Yi's every move after returning to the Heavenly Elixir sect Inn. There was no need for her to ask again. I'm fine too, Lin Yi said. You're not looking for me just to ask about this, right? Tian Chan suddenly smiled. What's the matter? I have something to discuss with you. It's about the nail of the 5 evils dragon that I obtained previously. Do you know about it? As Lin Yi spoke, he explained Little Nine's condition in detail to Tian Chan. On your side, do you have the method to use the 5 fiends' dragon nail? You want to know how to use the nails of the 5 evils dragon? Tian Chan's face suddenly revealed an extremely strange expression. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yeah, you know? Lin Yi immediately became excited. From Tian Chan's tone, it seemed that she knew how to use the 5 fiends' dragon's nails. And I know, Tian Chan said affirmatively. The things on the earth attribute, spirit, beast, must have a mate and a kind of medicine to be used by cultivators with earth attribute problems. This medicine can only be used by the Yellow Earth sect in the Western region. That is the birthplace of the earth attribute. In the Yellow Earth sect, there is an underground cave that has existed for hundreds of millions of years. There is a stalactite inside, which is the essence of the earth attribute power. The stalactite that drips from it is the earth attribute essence liquid, which is very precious. Oh, you mean that I have to go to the Yellow Earth sect to ask for this earth attribute essence liquid? Lin Yi quickly asked after listening. Yes, but this earth attribute essence liquid is very precious and rare. A small bottle can only be collected in 100 years, and it is only enough for one use. Tian Chan said, Can't be? So rare? Then wouldn't it be very difficult for me to ask for it? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly after listening. Why were the scenes of looking for elixirs so similar? It was the same when he went to the Ice Palace. It is indeed very difficult, But this small bottle of Earth Attribute Essence liquid is nothing compared to the life of the young master of the Yellow Earth sect, Tu Bawang. Even if there were 8 or 10 bottles, if you could save the young master of the Yellow Earth sect, they would give it to you without hesitation, Tian Chan said. Before, Tian Chan didn't know how to ask Lin Yi to save Tu Bawang, but now it all made sense. Oh, Lin Yi just remembered that the young master of the Yellow Earth sect, Tu Bawang, had been beaten up by Naipeo in front of the restaurant. Tu Bawang isn't dead yet. He's using the Dahuan pill to prolong his life, Tian Chan said. He won't die for now, but he won't live for long either. Lin Yi took in a deep breath and carefully considered the pros and cons of this, but still said firmly, "All right, I'll help him. I'll go talk to the people of the Yellow Earth sect later." Although healing Tu Bawang would expose Lin Yi's healing abilities, it was nothing compared to Little Nine's life. Lin Yi had enough enemies now, and Lin Yi was standing in a position that was strong enough. Even if people knew about his abilities, it would just be another benefit for him. Right now, Lin Yi was like a porcupine, trying to find a balance between all the different levels and powers. He wouldn't take the initiative to stab you, but if you came to him, he would stab you. So for now it was still peaceful. There's no need for that. There's a saying that going up to them isn't a business. If you take the initiative to ask them for help, they won't remember your kindness. But if they come to you, it's different. Tian Chan said, "But how do I let them know that I can cure Tu Bawang?" Lin Yi was slightly stunned. "I will arrange this for you. You just have to wait in the room. When the time comes, you can make use of it. The benefits you get are not just the earth essence," said Tian Chan. "Thank you very much." Lin Yi was a little shocked. He didn't expect Tian Chan to have such a great ability. She could coordinate the people of the Yellow Earth sect to find him. But thinking about Tian Chan's background in the 5 Element sect, it wasn't surprising. "Say thank you to me. I'll kick you." After Tian Chan finished speaking, she hung up the phone. Her face was a little red, and her heart was beating fast. Especially when she said the last sentence, Tian Chan found that she was very nervous. Lin Yi was a little speechless. "Thank you, and get kicked?" He hung up and turned his head, only to see Yang Chi-Chi staring at him. Lin Yi was a little embarrassed. He didn't ask about Lil Jiu before, and instead asked about Tian Chan's well-being. Was Yang Chi-Chi unhappy? Lil Chi. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Bro, Lil Jiu can be saved, right? That Tian Chan sis, is really amazing. She actually knows people from the Yellow Earth sect? Yang Chi-Chi looked at Lin Yi excitedly. Chapter 2881. But did Chi-Chi ignore Tian Chan's last words? In fact, Chi-Chi really did. In her eyes, anyone who could help her save Lil 9 was a good person, and Tian Chan being able to help was naturally a good person as well. As for other things, they were nothing compared to Lil 9. "Yeah, I'll just wait in my room," Lin Yi nodded. "Then I'll go back to my room first. I won't disturb Bro's discussion with the Yellow Earth people. They won't be able to say anything with me here, will they?" Chi-Chi said as she stood up. "All right, you go back first then. I'll let you know if there's any news." Lin Yi nodded. After sending Chi-Chi off, Lin Yi sat on the bed and closed his eyes as he entered the Jade space, preparing to train. It had been a few days since he'd last trained. He'd been busy thinking about how to leave the 5 Evils wildlands safely. Zhang Naipeo had been by his side back then, and Lin Yi couldn't train in peace. "Hey, I say, Ghost, thanks for what you did before." Lin Yi didn't even get the chance to say thank you to that damn thing. He'd been reminiscing with Yang Chi-Chi ever since he got back to the inn. "There's no need for that. If I didn't save you, you'd be dead. Where else would I find such a good place to train?" The ghost said, flatly, "You don't have to thank me this time, and don't feel like you owe me anything. It's different this time." "All right." Lin Yi was a little speechless. He didn't think that this thing wouldn't take credit for itself and push the credit away. It was still an upright ghost. All right, I'm going to go back to sleep. You go do what you need to do. And don't disturb me if there's nothing important. The ghost said, Oh, go back to sleep then. Lin, he didn't really need that thing right now. He adjusted himself and started training. Yang Chi-Chi went back to her room, feeling like she was dreaming. Her meeting with Lin Yi was like a dream, but now that she thought about it was so sweet. Every time she was in danger, Lin Yi would appear and lend a helping hand. Could it be that all of this was arranged by the heavens? Lin Yi was her Yi. Today was the happiest day of her day. Not only did she reunite with Lin Yi, she even found a way to save Lil Joe. Hello, Lil Joe, it's your sis Chi. Chi-Chi said, Ah, Sister Shao Chi, did you successfully pass the trial of the heavenly elixir sect? Shao Jiao's worried heart finally calmed down after receiving Chi-Chi's call. She had been keeping track of the time. Chi-Chi had clearly passed the time limit for the test, but she hadn't contacted her at all. This made her very anxious. But she couldn't reach Chi-Chi at all. Chi-Chi had left her phone at the inn, and it was turned off. Lil Jo couldn't reach her at all. She could only worry for herself. I didn't pass the test because the rewards from the Heavenly Elixir sect aren't very useful to us. But the most important thing is that I found the nail of the 5 malefic dragon and earth element. Chi-Chi said excitedly, You really found it? Lil Jo was a little shocked. She couldn't understand why a beast as strong as the 5 malefic dragon would give its nail to Chi-Chi. Sister Chi, you didn't run into any danger, did you? Danger? I did. Chi-Chi couldn't help but smile bitterly, but I managed to escape in the end because I met Lin Yi again. Ah, you met Lin Yi again? Did he help you this time? Lil Ju let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like Lin Yi had a lot to do with Chi-Chi getting through this. Yeah, right, Lil Jo, do you know who Lin Yi is? Chi-Chi asked excitedly. Who is he? Lil Jo asked anyway. It's Ai Bro, he's Ai Bro. Lil Jo, do you know? I used to want to kill him like an idiot, but he's Ai Bro. Chi-Chi's voice changed. You know. Lil Jo asked subconsciously. Yeah. Lil Jo, do you know something? Chi-Chi thought back to Lil Jo's tone earlier, as if she knew that Lin Yi was Ai Bro all along. Lil Jo was speechless, realizing that she'd let the cat out of the bag. Lil Jo, you knew all along, didn't you? You've been hiding it from me? Chi-Chi's eyes went wide, unable to believe that Lil Jo had been hiding it from her all this time. She'd gone through mountains and rivers for Lil Ju, risking her life, and Lil Ju was lying to her. Chi-Chi knew that Lil Ju liked Ai Bro, but she'd never been jealous, treating Lil Jo like a sister. But Lil Jo, Chi sis, I didn't mean to hide it. Lil Jo said weakly. I wasn't sure that Lin Yi was Ai Bro before. I only knew that his name was Lin Yi when I checked his phone. But I didn't know if the Lin Yi you were talking about was the same Lin Yi. Plus, Ms. Zhou said that I can't reveal the information I'm in charge of. I see, all right. Chi-Chi didn't have any objections now that it was Ms. Zhou's request. The information Lil Ju was in charge of wasn't for the members who were out on missions, and the other members weren't allowed to look into it without authorization, including Chi-Chi. It made sense that Lil Ju wouldn't reveal it. Chi-Chi had grown up in a family with strict rules, so she didn't find anything wrong with Lil Ju's actions. Ms. Zhou wasn't Chi-Chi's birth mother, but she was her father's other wife. She was also one of the instructors for these assassins, in charge of hacking training. As a result, Chi-Chi had a lot of respect for her. Naturally, she wouldn't complain about what she'd said. Chapter 2882. It's fine, I understand. Chi-Chi shook her head. No wonder you tried so hard to make excuses for Lin Yi when I said I was going to kill him, saying that he was trying to save me. You knew all along. I wasn't too sure at the time, Ju said. Yeah, right, it's all thanks to Ai Bro this time. I'd have died in the 5 Fiends Wildlands, and I wouldn't have been able to get the 5 Fiends dragon's fingernail. Chi-Chi didn't dwell on what happened before, and told Jiao about what happened in the 5 Fiends wildlands, especially the part where Lin roasted fish for her and saved her. Chi-Chi went into great detail, and Jiao was quite envious. "Seven sis, you're so lucky seeing bro." I could only hear his voice on the phone. "It's fine, bro promised me that he'll come find us after a while, and you guys can meet then. Let him see that our 9th princess has become a big girl now. I bet he'll be drooling," Chi-Chi said. "Don't guys all like cartoon girls?" "Of course not. It's because of my body I'm a little smaller," Jiao said, a little embarrassed. The two of them chatted happily. On the other side, Tian-chan asked Manager Sun to go to the Earth Diamond planet to see her. Earth Diamond Star returned to the Heavenly Elixir section. Looking at the unconscious young sect master on the bed, he felt extremely depressed. Even the Heavenly Elixir sect's young sect master, Heavenly Silkworm transformation, was helpless. Earth Diamond Star was truly helpless. Dragging it out day by day was not a solution. However, the Yellow Earth High sect was located in the western region, and the journey was long. If they had to trek back to the Yellow Earth High sect from here, the local tyrant would not be able to hold on. However, even if Huang Tugao sent someone over, it was impossible for them to have a way to save Earth Overlord. Their only hope now was that Heavenly Silkworm Change's last words weren't perfunctory, but that he was really thinking of a way to help Earth Overlord. Just as he was fretting over this, the intercom in the room suddenly rang. Earth Diamond Star froze for a moment before picking up the call. He didn't understand who would be calling him on the intercom at this time. In this period of time, Earth Diamond Planet had seen the fickleness of human nature. Their Yellow Earth sect had pissed off Zhang Naipeo, and the other practitioners were all avoiding them every time they saw them, let alone calling them. Therefore, Earth Diamond Star thought that he had made a mistake. Who is it? Is it the Earthen Diamond Planet of the Lust sect? The person on the other side of the phone asked directly. Yes, and you are? Earth Diamond Star was a little stunned. The other party actually knew who he was. Clearly, they were looking for him. However, who would be looking for him? "I am the inn's shopkeeper's son, our Heavenly Dance sect's young sect master. She wants you to immediately go to the sect to see her," Shopkeeper's son said. "Young sect master said that he has thought of a way." "What? Has young Master Tian thought of a way?" Earth Diamond Star was shocked and overjoyed. He was so excited that he couldn't even hold the phone properly. "Thank you, Shopkeeper Sunday. I'll head over right now. Thank you so much." "There's no need to thank me. I'm just in charge of passing the message. You should go quickly. Don't let the young sect master wait too long." Shopkeeper's son said faintly. Yes, I'll go right now." Earth Diamond Star said fearfully. After hanging up, Earth Diamond Star didn't have the time to be happy anymore. He didn't even bother going downstairs. He opened the window and jumped down, running towards the direction of the Sky Elixir sect. He was afraid that Silkworm Change would get angry. He didn't dare waste a second. Earth Diamond Star sped along the way. He was a Sky class mid-phase, and his speed was extremely fast. It didn't take long for him to reach the Sky Elixir sect. Under Little Peach's lead, he arrived at Tian Chan's room. Yellow Earth Sect, Earth Diamond Star greets young Sect Master Tian. Although Earth Diamond Star was excited and wanted to know what method Silkworm Change had thought of, he still greeted politely. "Earth Diamond Star, you're here. There's no need to be so polite." Tian Chan waved her hand and pointed to the seat in front of her. "Sit first. We'll talk slowly." "All right." Earth Diamond Star nodded and sat respectfully in front of Silkworm Change. However, he didn't dare to sit too casually. He stood upright like a primary school student in class. Then he asked carefully, "Young Sect Master Tian, you asked Shopkeeper's son to look for me. Have you thought of a method?" and I have thought of a method. However, whether or not it can be implemented depends on you. Tian Chan pretended to be hesitant. Young Sect Master Tian, please tell Earth Diamond Star if you have a method. Even if we have to cross mountains and rivers, our Yellow Earth Sect will find a way to save young Sect Master. Earth Diamond Star quickly said, and actually you don't have to cross mountains and rivers. The person who can help you is right in front of you. Before Tian Chan could finish her sentence, Earth Diamond Star interrupted excitedly. It's you, young Sect Master Tian. Earth Diamond Star stood up and knelt on the ground. He shouted, Young Sect Master Tian, please save our young Sect Master Earth's life. Cough, cough. Tian Chan didn't expect Earth Diamond Star to suddenly interrupt and kneel on the ground. She was speechless. Earth Diamond Star, get up first. The person I'm talking about isn't me, not young Sect Master Tian. Earth Diamond Star was confused. Young Sect Master Tian, you mean? I mean, this person is also a participant who passed this trial. He's currently in the Heavenly Elixir Sect in. Tian Chan explained. I see. Sorry, I was too excited. Earth Diamond Star stood up awkwardly and rubbed his hands. And it's fine. I understand your eagerness to save your master. Tian Chan nodded in understanding. Young Sect Master Tian, this person is... Earth Diamond Star asked impatiently. This person is Lin Yi. Have you heard of him? Tian Chan asked. Lin Yi? Tu Zwishing shook his head with a blank face. He brought Tu Tyrant back to his room after being injured, and didn't interact with other practitioners after that. Naturally, he didn't know about Lin Yi. Which sect is he from? What's his strength? He's a lone practitioner. Earth class, late phase, Tian Chan said. As far as I know, he's the only one who can help you. But I'm not sure if he can. Oh? Earth class lone practitioner? Earth Diamond Star was curious. He can help me? That's right. Tian Chan nodded. Chapter 2883. Wait. Tian Chan called out to the Earth Diamond Star. Young Master Tian, is there anything else? Tuo Zuoxing asked. You're going to find him just like that? You don't even know his personality, hobbies, or needs, and you're going to ask him for help? Tian Chan shook her head in exasperation. If you mess things up, then your young sect master won't be able to be saved. Young Master Tian, you're thinking too much. He's just a small Earth class wandering practitioner. I don't care about him at all. As long as I promise him some benefits. That Lin, he will definitely come over to help. Right? Tuo Zuoxing said proudly. Even if he doesn't go, I can force him to. I may not be as strong as you, but I'm still a Sky class mid-phase. Oh, then go ahead. You and your young master will die here. Don't blame the Heavenly Elixir Sect for not warning you. Tian Chan frowned and said coldly, What? Does young Master Tian want to interfere? Tuo Zuoxing paused, not understanding what Tian Chan meant. He was a Sky class mid-phase. How could an Earth class like Lin Yi do anything to him? So he understood that Tian Chan was going to interfere. I won't interfere. I'm just telling you that a Sky class mid-phase like you is just a tool to Lin Yi, Tian Chan said calmly. What? A tool? Tuo Zuoxing thought that he didn't hear it clearly. How is that possible? Naipeo's two followers, Mo Ba and Mo Jiu, are both Sky class mid-phase, and both of them were struck by Lin Yi, one dead and one injured. You do as you see fit. Tian Chan waved her hand. I'm a little tired. I've done my best for you, and I've reminded you what I should. You can leave now. Don't. When Earth Diamond Star heard Tian Chan's words, he was frightened out of his wits. He turned around and knelt on the ground again. Young Sect Master Tian, Diamond Star was too arrogant. Please help me. Please don't chase Diamond Star away. This concerns our young Sect Master Earth's life. Earth Diamond Star was very shocked by Lin Yi killing 2 Sky-class mid-phase masters, and even Naipeo's companions at that. This was unbelievable, but he didn't think that Silkworm Change would lie to him about this. There was no need, and he only needed to go back to the inn and ask Manager Sun and the other participants. He'd be able to find out what had happened. So, as shocked as he was, Tuozuoxing begged. If Lin he was really the type of person that Tian-chan was talking about, he might just die if he used force. Then what else do you want to know? Tian-chan asked helplessly. Young Master Tian, please tell me more about this Mr. Lin Yi. I'll have a plan to deal with him, so that I won't be caught off guard. Tuozuoxing begged. All right, I'll tell you then. Tian-chan nodded. Lin Yi may be an Earth class, but he's even stronger than a Sky class. Even I don't have the confidence to win against him. What? Tuozuoxing's eyes went wide. Young Master Tian, even you don't have the confidence? Aren't you a Sky class late phase peak? That's right, I don't have the confidence. Tian-chan nodded. Hiss. Tuozuoxing took a deep breath. In his opinion, there was no reason for Tian-chan to boost others' morale and belittle his own. How could a cultivator at the peak late phase peak of Heaven Stage, the dignified young master of Heavenly Elixir Sect, say that he was inferior to a Sky class late phase expert? The only reason was that this Earth class late phase expert was very powerful. Otherwise, why would Tian-chan say that? This was a matter of face. He had to admit that he was inferior to someone who was much weaker than him. He didn't believe that the heavenly silkworm transformation would joke about such a thing. Wouldn't that affect his reputation? However, there was a situation that Tuozuoxing didn't expect, and that was Tian-chan. Don't underestimate Lin Yi. Although he is a wandering cultivator, the eldest grandson of the ancient Feng family, Feng Shipian, and the direct disciple of the Holy Fist Palace, Li Siba, are all his underlings. In the hidden world, he has many underlings. So, although he is a wandering cultivator in name, he actually has a very powerful force behind him. Tian-chan introduced. So powerful. Tuozuoxing broke out in a cold sweat, thinking that it was fortunate that he didn't ask for help from Lin Yi. Otherwise, if he said something wrong and Lin Yi didn't help him, what would happen to the young master, Tuozuoxing, if he killed him? No wonder Zhang Naipeo didn't dare to cause trouble for Lin Yi after losing 2 of his Sky-class followers. He didn't even dare to make a fart after coming back for so long. So this was the reason. However, the more it was like this, the more it showed how powerful Lin Yi was. Tuozuoxing was injured by Zhang Naipeo, and Lin Yi was more powerful than Zhang Naipeo, so there was a high chance that he could treat Tuozuoxing's injury. Yes, Lin Yi's temper is a bit strange. He doesn't help people who have nothing to do with him. But if his underlings and family are in trouble, he will not shirk his responsibility. Tian-chan continued. Moreover, the more you force him, the more he won't do what you say. As for how to beg him, you have to think of a way yourself. I see. Tuozuoxing hesitated slightly. He didn't understand what Tian-chan was hinting at. Could it be that in order to treat Tuozuoxing's injury, Huang Tugao had to recognize Lin Yi as his boss? But wasn't it a bit too strange for a big Huang sect to recognize Lin Yi, a wandering cultivator, as their boss? Moreover, this wasn't something he could decide. He had to listen to Tuozuoxing. All right, this is as far as I can help you. The rest is up to you. Tian-chan said. Thank you, young Master Tian. Tuozuoxing will remember this kindness. Once Tuozuoxing is saved, our Huang Tugao sect will treat the entire Sky Elixir sect as our benefactor. Tuozuoxing quickly said. Tian-chan raised an eyebrow and said faintly, I'm telling you this in private, don't spread it around. Ah. Tuozuoxing wasn't stupid. He immediately understood what Tian-chan meant. I understand. Our Huang Tugao sect will treat young Master Tian as our benefactor. If there's anything we can use, we will listen to you at any time. All right, you can go. Tian-chan nodded and said. Chapter 2884. Shopkeeper's son paused. Wasn't this Earth Diamond Star just trying to find something to talk about? This was an order from young Master Tian. How could he dare to not inform him? However, he still put on a smile and said, "Haha, this is what I should do." N, right? Do you know Lin Yi's room number? Earth Diamond Star asked. Oh, I do. I'll check for you. The room number of the participant wasn't a secret, and shopkeeper's son didn't need to hide it. Very quickly, he found Lin Yi's room number and gave it to Earth Diamond Star. Thank you, Shopkeeper Sunday. Right? I heard that Lin Yi and Zhang Naipeo had some conflict? Earth Diamond Star probed. A little, it's like this. Shopkeeper's son had received the order from Silkworm Transformation long ago, and as for Earth Diamond Star's questions, he only needed to answer truthfully. And so, Shopkeeper's son told Earth Diamond Star about the conflict between Lin Yi and Zhang Naipeo in detail. When he heard that Lin Yi had crippled Mo Jiu and then returned with Zhang Naipeo, Earth Diamond Star pondered. Could it be that Zhang Naipeo had admitted defeat? Then, from the looks of it, begging Lin Yi was the best way. With that thought, Earth Diamond Star said, "Thank you, Shopkeeper Sunday. I'll go upstairs first. You can continue with your work." All right. Shopkeeper's son nodded casually. Earth Diamond Star didn't go back to visit Earth Tyrant, but went straight to Lin Yi's room. Standing in front of Lin Yi's room, he reached his hand out, but didn't dare knock on the door. He felt a huge pressure in his heart. Although the person inside was an Earth class, he had the strength to kill a Sky class in a second. Earth Diamond Star didn't dare to act recklessly. Finally, after taking a few deep breaths, he bravely knocked on the door and waited for the person inside to reply. "Who is it? Come in." The door isn't locked. Although Lin Yi replied to the Earth Diamond planet quickly, those few seconds felt like a century to the Earth Diamond planet. Carefully pushing open the door and entering the room, Earth Diamond Star bowed deeply. "I am Earth Diamond Star, a follower of Earth Tyrant Young Sect Master from the Yellow Earth High Sect. Greetings, Senior Lin Yi." Seeing that the Earth Diamond Star had taken the initiative to greet him respectfully, Lin Yi knew that this was the result of Tian Chan's mediation. Although he didn't know how Tian Chan did it, he still said calmly, "Oh, so you are the Earth Diamond Star from the Yellow Earth Sect. It's me. Has Senior Lin heard of me?" Earth Diamond Star was delighted and nodded. "Never heard of it." Lin Yi shook his head. Earth Diamond Star felt a little awkward, but he didn't dare to say anything. He just explained, "Our Yellow Earth High Sect is in the Western region. It's normal that Senior Lin hasn't heard of us." "Oh, what's the matter?" Lin Yi asked, even though he already knew the answer. "It's like this, Senior Lin." Earth Diamond Star hurriedly told Lin Yi about Earth Tyrant's injuries, including how he was using the Great Return Pill to extend his life. He didn't hide anything and said, "I heard from a friend that Senior Lin is a powerful person and has a way to treat our young sect master's injuries. What do you think that Earth Tyrant was arrogant and despotic? He deserved to die. You can leave." Lin Yi waved his hand and started to chase him away. It seemed like Tian Chan had already paved the way for him. If Lin Yi didn't cooperate, he would be letting down Tian Chan's hard work. "Don't. Senior Lin, although our Earth Tyrant's young sect master is young and arrogant, he isn't a bad person." Earth Diamond Star hurriedly explained, "He's just young, and this is his first time out to train. He doesn't have much experience. You know that he is the young sect master, and no one dares to go against him. Everything he says goes. That's why he has such an aura. However, he is actually very pure and doesn't have any bad intentions. What does that have to do with me?" Lin Yi asked. "This. I hope Senior Lin can save him." Earth Diamond Star gritted his teeth and said, "Why should I save him? We aren't related to each other, and I don't even know him. What do I get out of saving him?" Lin Yi shook his head. "Moreover, saving him will consume a lot of energy. I won't save him." "Don't, Senior Lin. Look, if you have any requests, just tell us." We will try our best to satisfy you. Earth Diamond Star hurriedly said. As for Lin Yi saying that it would consume a lot of energy, he naturally believed him. If it wasn't troublesome, anyone would be able to treat him. Do you think I look like someone who would need your help? Lin Yi said mockingly as he looked at Earth Diamond Planet. This. Earth Diamond Star gritted his teeth and said, Our Earth Tyrant's young sect master has always admired the strong. If Senior Lin is able to treat his injuries, our young sect master might recognize you as his boss. This way, our Yellow Earth High Sect will become Senior Lin's helper. What do you think? I have enough underlings. Every time they are in trouble, I have to help them. Do you think it's a good thing to have more underlings? Lin Yi rolled his eyes and said calmly. Lin Yi's words made Earth Diamond Star's eyes light up. Every time Lin Yi's underling was in trouble, Lin Yi would go and help them? That was great. In the future, if Earth Overlord became Lin Yi's underling, he would be able to look for Lin Yi directly. This was a great thing. The key was the attitude of the other members of the Yellow Earth High Sect. From Earth Diamond Star's point of view, with Earth Overlord's personality, it wouldn't be difficult for him to become Lin Yi's underling. However, Earth Overlord was still the young sect master, and not the sect master. Above him was Earth Tyrant's uncle, Tu Chingsong. Moreover, if Earth Overlord became the sect master of the Yellow Earth High Sect in the future, the sect would definitely become Lin Yi's subordinate sect. It seemed like he had to contact Tu Chingsong about this when he returned. This. Earth Diamond Star didn't know what to say. Forget it. Let me see if his injuries can be treated first. Otherwise, it would be nonsense no matter what I say. Although Lin Yi knew that he could definitely treat him, he still had to put on an act. Yes, Senior Lin, please. Earth Diamond Star hurriedly made an inviting gesture and invited Lin Yi to his room. Lin Yi followed Earth Diamond Star to Earth Overlord's room and saw Earth Overlord lying on the bed with a pale face. Lin Yi walked over and pretended to check before saying, I can treat him. Ah, that's great. Then, Senior Lin, when can we start the treatment? Earth Diamond Star was overjoyed. Did I say that I was going to heal him? Lin Yi retorted. Then why are you here? Earth Diamond Star was stunned. Chapter 2885. Yes. There's no rush. When Earth Diamond Star heard Lin Yi's words, he knew that there was a way. He quickly asked, Senior Lin, how much do you need? I heard that your sect has a treasure called the Earth Essence Fluid? Lin Yi asked. This. We do have it. Earth Diamond Star's face changed slightly. This was a treasure of the sect. Lin, you wouldn't want it, right? That's good. 2 bottles of Earth Essence Fluid and the method to use it. I can save your young sect leader. Lin Yi said, 2 bottles. Earth Diamond Star's face turned even uglier. However, for the sake of the young sect leader's life, he still said, Senior Lin, I will ask our sect leader about your conditions. However, please wait for a moment. No problem. Go ahead and ask. Lin Yi nodded. All right, Senior Lin. If we agree to your conditions, you will definitely be able to cure our young sect leader's injuries, right? Earth Diamond Star asked. Who said that he would be cured? I only said to save him. Lin Yi said indifferently. Is this different? Earth Diamond Star was confused. Of course it's different. Saving him only means to revive him. He doesn't need to rely on the Great Restore Pill to maintain his life. He can live like a normal person. However, curing him means to heal all the meridians in his body so that he can continue to cultivate. These are 2 different concepts. Don't mix them up. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, Then, how can I cure him? Earth Diamond Star couldn't help but smile bitterly. Senior Lin, why don't you tell me all your conditions? I will ask the sect leader I can save him. However, the healing of meridians is limited to the people around me. For example, my family members and brothers. I will not provide such treatment to outsiders. This is because it will consume a large amount of my true qi. I will not accept any conditions. Lin, he said resolutely. This. Earth Diamond Star was slightly taken aback. However, when she thought about what the heavenly silkworm transformation had told her about Lin Yi's personality, she realized that it wasn't surprising at all. But this wasn't a problem. As long as Tua Ba was alive, then he could pester Lin Yi to be his boss. Wouldn't he be able to heal him? Therefore, Earth Diamond Star's top priority was to consult Tu Ching Song. Thus, he said to Lin Yi, "All right, Senior Lin, please wait a moment. I'll consult our Yellow Earth Sect's sect master. Go." Lin Yi waved his hand. Earth Diamond Star walked out of the room and gave Tu Ching Song a call. Tu Ching Song's call was quickly connected. Tu Ching Song had been worrying about the local overlord during this period of time. This was his only nephew and also the only direct bloodline of the Yellow Earth High faction. Although the Yellow Earth High sect wasn't small, there weren't many direct bloodlines. This was related to the inheritance of the Yellow Earth High faction's bloodline. There was a large amount of earth element in the Yellow Earth High faction's bloodline. Logically speaking, this was an excellent earth attribute physique, and it was very suitable to receive the earth attribute comprehension inheritance. However, because male cultivators couldn't comprehend the inheritance, only female cultivators could. Therefore, the male cultivators of the Yellow Earth High faction's bloodline were very miserable. If they didn't step into the heaven stage before the age of 20, their only fate was to wait for death. Although the earth attribute essence could extend the lifespan of a heaven stage earth attribute spirit beast, it could only extend for 5 years each time. When they reached the age of 30, they could only die quietly. Moreover, heaven stage earth attribute spirit beasts were very rare. Even if the Yellow Earth High faction kept one in captivity, they couldn't often extract its blood. Otherwise, the earth attribute spirit beast wouldn't be able to bear it and would die. Tu Ching Song's father left the Yellow Earth High faction because 2 unexpected guests visited him, and his whereabouts were unknown. Tua Ba's father died young because he didn't step into the heaven stage before the age of 20. Tu Ching Song only had one daughter. When she was young, she left with Tu Ching Song's father because of that unexpected visit. Afterwards, there was no news of her. After that, Tua Ba became the only continuation of the Yellow Earth High faction's bloodline. Therefore, how could Tu Ching Song not be worried? Although Tu Ching Song was now in his prime, and it wouldn't be a problem for him to have another son, the key problem was that it would be extremely difficult to nurture another heaven stage before the age of 20. Diamond Star, is there any news? How is your contact with the Heavenly Elixir sect? Is there any hope for Tua Ba? Tu Ching Song quickly asked after picking up the phone. There is. Earth Diamond Star quickly said, "Sect Master, I went to see the Heavenly Elixir sect's young sect master, and he introduced me to someone." As he spoke, Earth Diamond Star told Tu Ching Song about Lin Yi's matter, the matter of him asking Lin Yi to treat Tua Ba's injuries, and the conditions that Lin Yi had set. After listening to Earth Diamond Star's words, although Tu Ching Song was excited, he was, after all, the sect master of an ancient sect. He instantly calmed down and fell into contemplation. Although the conditions that Lin Yi had set seemed a bit outrageous, asking for 2 bottles of earth essence fluid, relatively speaking, Tua Ba's life was more important. However, if Lin Yi could restore Tua Ba to normal, then it would be fine. The problem now was that Lin Yi only saved Tua Ba's life, but he didn't treat him well. Tua Ba's meridians were still crippled, and Lin Yi didn't offer any other conditions in exchange for treatment. The only feasible solution was for Tua Ba to become Lin Yi's underling, so that Lin Yi could help treat him. This was the reason why Tu Ching Song was hesitant. Being the underling of a large yellow Earth High faction wouldn't be good for his reputation, and secondly, Tu Ching-song didn't want to be under someone else. However, face and reputation couldn't be compared to Tua Ba's life. Tua Ba was the only bloodline descendant of the Yellow Earth High faction. Tu Ching-song didn't want the bloodline of the Yellow Earth High faction to end because of a bit of face and reputation. Although the nephews of the other elders in the sect weren't bad, and there was no lack of materials to nurture them into young sect masters, the Yellow Earth High faction would lose the qualifications to inherit the power of the Earth element. An ancient sect without an inheritor would be a second-grade sect in the future plan. Tu Ching-song didn't want the Yellow Earth High faction to fall from its pedestal. A lone cultivator has so much power. Tu Ching-song pondered for a moment and asked, the everyday sect actually doesn't dare to touch him. It seems like it. Even the young sect master of the Celestial Silkworm sect said so. I'm afraid that this Lin Yi isn't an ordinary person, Earth Diamond Star said. Lin Yi, lone cultivator. Tu Ching-song frowned. Why does this name feel so familiar? But I can't remember. Chapter 2886. Lin. This surname isn't common in the Western region. Let me think. Tu Ching-song slapped his head. Lin Yi. Yes. Could it be him? Tu Ching-song's memory wasn't bad. He suddenly recalled something and exclaimed in surprise, scaring the Earth Diamond planet on the other end of the line. Gate Master, what is he? Do you know Lin Yi? Earth Diamond Star was confused. He didn't know what Tu Ching-song was talking about. Lin Dongfang. Lil. That's right. When that person brought Ran away, he told father that Ran would train with Lil Yi and the others. Could it be him? Tu Ching-song muttered to himself without answering. Earth Diamond Star saw that Tu Ching-song didn't want to answer him and only said some random name. He didn't dare to continue asking and could only wait silently. Earth Diamond Star later asked that Lin, does he know Lin Dongfang? What's his relationship with him? Tu Ching-song finished sorting out the meridians and came to a rough conclusion. He then instructed the Earth Diamond Star. Oh, all right. Although Earth Diamond Star didn't know why Tu Ching-song would ask this question and what kind of person Lin Dongfang was, he naturally had to ask since it was the sect master's order. I'll go and ask now, and we can agree to the 2 bottles of Earth Essence. Let him save Earth Tyrant first. After you ask this question, quickly relay the answer to me, and I'll decide what to do next. Tu Ching-song said hurriedly. Okay, I'll reply to Lin Yi now. Earth Diamond Star nodded. Wait, you must be respectful and don't call him by his name. Tu Ching-song reminded. Don't worry, Gate Master. I'm just reporting to you. I always call Lin Yi Senior Lin in front of him. Earth Diamond Star startled. He didn't understand why the Gate Master was so concerned about this. Lin Yi didn't have the mood to eavesdrop on the conversation between Earth Diamond Star and his Gate Master. Although eavesdropping wasn't difficult for Lin Yi wasn't that kind of person. Are you done asking? Lin Yi asked calmly. Yes, Senior Lin. Earth Diamond Star hurriedly said, our sect leader said that he can give you 2 bottles of Earth Essence fluid. This is not a problem. Please save our young sect leader first. Oh, okay. Lin Yi nodded. Do we start now? But when will you give me the Earth Essence? This, after we return to the Western region. How about we immediately send someone to deliver it to Senior Lin? Earth Diamond Star asked carefully. It's been too long. Send someone to deliver it now. Lin Yi waved his hand and said impatiently, besides, if you leave and don't give it to me, do you think I can go to the Western region to find you? I don't have the time. That works too. Earth Diamond Star had never thought of going back on his words. Since the sect master had already agreed to it, there was no way he would change his mind. Hence, he nodded his head and said, I will send someone to send it over by plane. Okay, then let's start the treatment now. Lin nodded. By the way, when I'm doing the treatment, please wait outside. No problem. All right, Senior Lin, can I ask you a question? Earth Diamond Star asked. Oh, go ahead. Lin, he didn't think much of it. May I ask, Senior Lin, do you know Mr. Lin Dongfang? Earth Diamond Star asked carefully. Oh, Lin, he was stunned. You know him? Why are you asking this? This is what our sect leader told me to ask. May I ask, what is your relationship with Mr. Lin Dongfang? Earth Diamond Star continued to ask. Lin, he hesitated. He didn't know if Yellow Earth sect was friend or foe. But thinking about it, so what if they were enemies? So what if they were friends? If they were enemies, they wouldn't dare to do anything to him. They even had to beg him. Lin, he could take the chance to extort more things from them. If they were friends, then he would at most help 2 Overlord recover. Lin, he wouldn't suffer any losses. Thinking about this, Lin, he said honestly, you can say that he is my grandfather. Okay, Senior Lin, then you can start treating the young sect leader. I will go out and hide. Earth Diamond Star nodded and prepared to reply to sect leader Tu Chingsong. Lin, he was a little confused. Earth Diamond Star didn't say anything else after asking. He didn't even say if they were friends or foes. What did he mean? However, Lin, he didn't think too much about it. Maybe he had only heard of Lin Dongfang's reputation as a miracle doctor. Actually, even if Earth Diamond Star didn't watch, he wouldn't be able to learn Lin Yi's treatment method. It was just that Lin Yi didn't want Earth Diamond Star to know that he saved 2 Overlord so easily. If that was the case, it wouldn't be worth it. So, after Earth Diamond Star left, Lin Yi didn't bother about 2 Overlord. Instead, he sat at the side and started cultivating. After Earth Diamond Star left the room, the first thing he did was to call Tu Chingsong. Diamond Star, how is it? Is there any news? Tu Chingsong picked up the phone and asked quickly. Yes, there is news, Earth Diamond Star said. Lin, he said that Lin Dongfang can be considered his grandfather. Hiss. Tu Chingsong took a deep breath. It really has something to do with that person. Previously, he thought that his imagination was a little funny and not very reliable. But now, it seemed that his guess was correct. What's wrong, sect leader? Earth Diamond Star heard that Tu Chingsong's voice wasn't normal, so he asked quickly. Nothing, Diamond Star. Think of a way to make 2 Overlord recognize Lin Yi as his boss. Of course, he must be sincerely convinced. He can't put on an act. Tu Chingsong instantly made a decision. If Lin Yi was really that person's grandson, then he had made the right bet. If he could form a relationship with Lin Yi, it would be the same as forming a relationship with those 2 people. Although he didn't know where those 2 people were now, there would be a day when they would make a comeback. Ah! Earth Diamond Star was stunned. He didn't know why sect leader Tu Chingsong suddenly made such a decision, but he didn't dare to ask too much. He only said, yes, I understand. When young sect leader wakes up, I will pass on your message to him. And if he doesn't listen, call me directly. I will talk to him, Tu Chingsong said. Yes, sect leader. Earth Diamond Star replied quickly. After hanging up the phone, Tu Chingsong's face flashed with excitement. If Tu Chingsong could become the underling of those 2 people, it wouldn't be a shameful thing. In the past, the everyday and everyday sect was proud of it. Others couldn't wait to be envious. Chapter 2887. Mr. Lang, how is it? You've taken all the goods from before, haven't you? You've started the transportation already, right? Tianli asked. Mr. Liu, I'm sorry, but there's a problem. Xiaochun's voice was very low. Oh, what problem? Tianli paused, but because the hypnotist's hypnotism was deeply implanted in his brain, he trusted Little Pure quite a bit. He didn't doubt her at all. It's like this because there's a lot of goods this time, and the smugglers at the border have some objections. They didn't agree to the price we agreed on, and now the goods are stuck at the border and we can't get through. It's really troublesome." Xiao Chun sighed helplessly. "Oh, how much do they want?" Tianli understood. After all, the smugglers wouldn't have any objections if they kept the same price as before, as long as they weren't idiots. "Another 200 million in tolls," Xiao Chun said. "Man, this time it's a bit too much. It's not that much, but it's nothing compared to the value of the goods." Tianli's trust in Xiao Chun had been hypnotized, but he still maintained the mind of a businessman. "But the situation now is that I don't have a single cent of cash on hand, and I've mortgaged my property as well. So I can't get any more cash. I see." Xiao Chun thought. It seemed like she'd squeezed all of Tianli's funds dry this time, and it was time to close the net. "Then I'll discuss it with them again, and I'll do some research on my side as well. See if I can get enough money. Sure, I'll take a look on my side as well. If I really can't, I'll borrow some from my old friends." Tianli said, "Once our cigarettes come over, we'll get it back with interest." "That's true. All right, we'll keep in touch," Xiao Chun said. After ending the call, Xiao Chun turned to Jiang Wen respectfully. "Master Wen, it's about time. I don't think Tianli has any more money left." "Yeah, not even 200 million? It seems like he really doesn't have any left." Jiang Wen nodded. "We can proceed with the final plan now. We'll screw him over." "Yes, Master Wen. Let's wait a few days and see if he can still get the money," Xiao Chun replied. "All right, do as you see fit. Find a time and tell him about our plan. Then we can go home," Jiang Wen said. Donghai City, Qibing hid in the hidden house Zhao for a while and realized that the hidden house Yu didn't do anything to him. He breathed a sigh of relief and returned to the floating cloud bar. In fact, hiding house Yu was because of Yushan, and they didn't have the time to cause trouble for Zhao Qibing. At most, Zhao Qibing was just bewitched by Yushan, and Yushan was the true dirty linen of House Yu. They didn't even have enough time to cover it up, so why would they bring it up? So they let Zhao Qibing go. But as for the hidden house Zhao, House Yu didn't treat them as in-laws anymore. They completely broke off their relationship with them, and Yu Shaojin naturally became a sacrifice. Without the support of the hidden house Yu Shaojin became someone that no one cared for or loved. She lost her position in the hidden house Zhao, and Guangyin didn't have to look at Xiaojin's face anymore. Zhao Qikuan was regretting it recently. That time when Lin Yi came to the hidden house and threatened to break his legs. Zhao Qibing was afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble for him because of Yuning, so he didn't come out and meet with Lin Yi. But now that the storm had passed, it was clear that there was nothing more to it. House Yu wasn't going to pursue the matter, and it seemed like Lin Yi wasn't going to pursue it either. Zhao Qibing was starting to regret it. Wasn't it better to come out back then? How good would it be if he came out? Lin Yi would break his legs for him. And so, the first thing he did when he got back to the floating cloud bar was to visit Lin Yi. As far as he was concerned, even if Lin Yi didn't agree, he wouldn't do anything to him in school. Of course, the most important reason was that Zhao Qibing wanted to find out more about Lin Yi. According to the time of the test, Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan should be back by now, but Zhao Qikuan didn't appear at House Zhao. This made Zhao Qibing a little uncertain, not knowing if Zhao Qikuan was still alive or not. He wanted to go to school to see if Lin Yi was there. He didn't know that Lin Yi and Zhang Naipeo were delayed in the 5 malefic barons for a few more days. Zhao Qibing found Lin Yi's class easily and found Tiger Yu. "Isn't this Master Bang? Long time no see. I heard that you've been hiding?" House Yu and House Zhao's situation had been kept a low profile on purpose, but House Yu and other hidden houses still received the news. Haha, how is that possible? Why would I hide? Why would I hide? Zhao Qibing was a little embarrassed, but he was thick-skinned and didn't care. Right, have you seen Lin Yi? Didn't Lin Yi go to the Sky Elixir test? Tiger Yu paused. HM? Judging from the time, he should be back by now. Did he die? Tiger Yu would be happy if Lin Yi died. but Lin Yi's presence pissed him off. He couldn't do anything about it. Once Lin Yi died, he would be able to hit on Han Jingjing without any worries. I think so too, so I came to ask about it. My Chiton didn't come back either, Zhao Qibing said. That unlucky brother of yours. Tiger Yi shook his head. I'm not sure. Why don't you ask Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing? She might know. Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing, huh? I'm not that familiar with them. Zhao Qibing wasn't that familiar with Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing, so it was useless to ask. Then there's nothing I can do. Tiger Yu decided to stay out of this until he was sure that Lin Yi was dead. He had learned his lesson before, and he didn't want to be taught a lesson by Lin Yi again. It's fine, I'll go ask. Qibing had no choice but to walk to Xinyan's side, scaring her a little. You, what are you doing? Xinyan had seen Zhao Qibing before, but she wasn't that familiar with him. He was a scary person, threatening to break someone's leg at the slightest provocation. Xinyan didn't want to have anything to do with him. It's nothing much, actually. I just wanted to ask, is Linny back? Zhao Qibing asked. Linny? Why do you ask? Xinyan was a little cautious, not knowing what Zhao Qibing wanted. Chapter 2888. I don't know. Xinyan shook her head. I've been staying in the dorms these days and haven't gone back to Lin Yi's villa. I don't know either. Ugh, I see. Qibing was a little disappointed. Then did Lin Yi contact you? Ask Meng Yao and Yushu if you need anything. I really don't know. Xinyan didn't dare to say anything, and she really didn't know what was going on with Lin Yi. I'm going to look for them. Qibing's mouth twitched. Meng Yao was fine, but Yushu reminded him of his skyscraper. This girl wanted to see his skyscraper collapse, and it really did. Qibing was traumatized. I'm going to study now. Help yourself. Xinyan didn't want to talk too much with Qibing. She picked up a book and lowered her head. Qibing had no choice but to go to the economics faculty to look for Meng Yao and Yushu. Meng Yao and Yushu, on the other hand, weren't as easy to find as Xinyan. Qibing didn't know where their classes were. There wasn't a fixed class sign in a university, unlike biomedicine, where they would always be in the same classroom. So, Qibing went to the economics faculty building and asked for the class timetable. He looked for the class according to the timetable, and when he found it, it was almost time for school to end. This was good, though. He had more time to ask after school. Seeing Meng Yao and Yushu walk out of the classroom hand in hand, Qibing quickly ran over. Miss Chu, Miss Chin, long time no see. Zhao Qibing. Meng Yao was surprised to see Qibing. She didn't know what he was here for. What are you doing here? Miss Chu, it's like this. I'm looking for Lin Yi. Do you know how to contact him? Qibing went straight to the point. What are you looking for Shield Bro for? Yushu answered for Meng Yao. Zhao Qibing was most afraid of talking to Yushu. He purposely talked to Meng Yao to avoid talking to Yushu, but he didn't expect Yushu to take over the topic. It's like this. I asked Lin Yi to break my legs. He promised me, Qibing said, but it's been so long and he still hasn't fulfilled his promise. Oh, Yushu humphed, neither agreeing nor disagreeing with the idea. You don't believe me? It's true. Before he left for the test, he purposely went to our hidden house, Zhao, but I wasn't home at that time, so I didn't make it in time. After I came back, the first thing I did was to find him. Qibing lied. When did I say I didn't believe you? Yushu asked. Ugh, you mean? Qibing looked at Yushu, hesitantly. Shield Bro actually told me before he left that I'd do it for you if you came looking for him to break your legs. Yushu said with a straight face. You. Zhao Qibing didn't believe her. He wasn't an idiot. He believed whatever Yushu said. He asked back, really? You don't believe me? Yushu narrowed her eyes, repeating what Qibing said to him. It's not that I don't believe you. I mean, Linny might have told you, but do you know how to do it? Qibing smiled bitterly, not daring to offend Yushu. Fuck, why not? Yushu put her hands on her waist. Shield bro taught me all the skills. I'm a professional now. Ugh. Forget it. I won't trouble you. We'll talk about it when he comes back in a few days. Chikuin didn't believe in Yushu's skills. This was no joke. Oh, you don't want to do it? Yushu narrowed her eyes and looked at Chibing with a smile that wasn't a smile. Don't regret it. I've been learning from Shield Bro for a few days just to break your legs, and I've broken quite a few trees already. It's fine if you don't want to fight, but when Shield Bro comes back, I'll tell him that you don't want to fight anymore, and he won't break your legs anymore. Shield Bro listens to Shu the most. Ugh, Chibing's forehead was covered in cold sweat, blaming himself for talking too much. Why did he start a conversation with Yushu? Now he was in a dilemma. If he didn't let Yushu do it, this girl would definitely say bad things about Linny. And if Linny listened to her, then he'd have no hope of breaking his legs. But if he let her do it, Chibing wouldn't be at ease. What if she couldn't break it? Hey, are you going to do it or not? If you don't, Yao Yao and I are going home to play. Move. Yushu was getting impatient seeing Chibing's hesitation. Yes. Is it here? Chibing gritted his teeth and made his decision. He couldn't break it and he couldn't kill him. He wouldn't die even if he tried. But if it really broke, then he'd be lucky. Let's go to the empty space downstairs. Find yourself a metal rod, Yushu said. All right, then you have to do your best and try to break it. Chibing reminded. Aya, don't worry. Why don't you trust me? Don't you know that I have a name called Professional Leg Breaker Shu? Yushu waved her hand impatiently. Hurry up and find a rod. I do have a rod. After going downstairs, Chibing waved his hand. Uncle Zhu, bring me the rod. Uncle Zhu was waiting for Chibing downstairs. He brought a metal rod with him just to see Lin Yi. It was especially for Lin Yi to break his legs. Although Lin Yi didn't use a metal rod most of the time, it was better to be prepared. Yes, Master Bing. Uncle Zhu passed the metal rod to Chibing. All right, what do you think about this rod? Chibing passed the metal rod to Yushu. All right, then get ready. I'm going to hit you. Yushu raised the metal rod and looked at Chibing's leg, thinking about how to break it. Miss Chin, can you hurry up? I'm waiting here. Chibing waited for a long time, but Yushu didn't make a move. He was getting anxious. He had kept his chi barrier on, but this wasn't something he could control. Although he had improved recently, he still couldn't control it. Otherwise, he could easily find someone to break his leg. Aya, coming. Yushu raised her iron rod and smashed it on Chibing's right thigh, making a crisp bang sound. Chapter 2889. Why wouldn't I know how to hit you? It's your leg that's broken. Yushu humphed. Are you going to hit me or not? Can you not be so nosy? You're ruining my mood. I can hit you, but Miss Chin, can you break it? My leg is swollen, but it's not broken. Chibing said bitterly. Oh, right, I forgot. Yushu suddenly slapped her head. Shield Bro told me to use Pinliang's mystical steel rod before he left. Yours isn't a mystical steel rod. Ah, then why didn't you say so earlier? Chibing was speechless. He knew about Pinliang's steel rod, too. It could break through the chi protection of any practitioner under Sky Class. He didn't use chi protection when Yushu hit him, but after the pain, he instinctively used it. So other than pain, Yushu didn't do any damage to Zhao Chibing. But the mystical steel rod was different. It could break through Chibing's chi protection, and this way, the damage from the rod would land on his body. Naturally, the damage would be severe, but when Yushu mentioned that Lin Yi told her to use the steel rod, Chibing believed her 70 to 80%. He'd thought that Yushu was just making things up to play with him, but now it seemed like that wasn't the case. You're blaming me for not telling you earlier that your own rod isn't good? I won't hit you anymore, Yushu raged. Don't, please don't. Just hit me, I beg you. Chibing panicked and quickly begged, let's go to your house now. Oh, Seeing that you're so sincere about breaking your leg, let's go, Yushu nodded. Meng Yao was a little puzzled. Since when did Lin Yi teach Shu the secret to breaking a leg? But it seemed like Yushu was just messing around with Qibing. Thinking about it, it made sense. Lin Yi was out, and in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, they kept a low profile every day. They didn't go to school, and they didn't go to other places. Their daily life was monotonous, and now that Zhao Qibing came to their doorstep, Yushu wouldn't be Yushu if she didn't take the chance to mess with him. All right, let's go then. Qibing's leg healed as fast as it hurt. It was just a bruise, he could take it. Qibing let Uncle Zhu drive and followed Meng Yao and Han Jingjing's BMW X5M to Meng Yao's villa. Is it okay now? Zhao Qibing got off the car and couldn't wait. He had been practicing 1,000 kicks for a long time, but he was stuck on the broken leg. He had been waiting for a chance, and now that it was here, he wouldn't let it go. It's already 6 in the evening. I need to eat. You might not be hungry, but I'm starving. Right? I haven't eaten yet. I need to get something to eat. Yushu said all of a sudden. You still need to eat. Qibing said helplessly, what do you want to eat? I'll get Uncle Zhu to buy it for you. Oh, that's okay. I want to eat the spicy soup and grilled squid from the commercial street. Get him to buy me 2 bowls of spicy soup and 10 skewers of grilled squid. Yushu had wanted to eat for a long time, but Lin Yi wasn't home. She didn't want to attract trouble, so she didn't eat. But now that Qibing was here for free, she wouldn't hold back. Oh, okay, Uncle Zhu, you go. Qibing said to Uncle Zhu. Even if Yushu wanted to have a big meal, he'd buy it for her. Who asked him to break his leg in such a hurry? Yes, Master Bing, Uncle Zhu said and drove to buy the snacks. Qibing, on the other hand, asked, Miss Jin, is it okay now? Okay, let's begin. Yushu found the steel rod and raised it, aiming at Qibing's leg. I'm ready, relax. You can protect yourself with qi. Okay, I know. To be honest, Qibing wanted the steel rod in Yushu's hand. It was a good thing. If he could get his hands on it, he wouldn't need to find Lin Yi to break his leg. He could just find someone else to do it for him. But it was just a thought. He didn't dare to take Lin Yi's stuff. Wasn't that asking for death? If he brought trouble to the hidden house Zhao, he wouldn't be able to handle it. Bang! Yushu's rod smashed over, accurately hitting Zhao Qibing's right leg. Ouch! Zhao Qibing screamed in pain. This time he heard a crack sound and thought that his leg was broken. The pain was worth it, but when he raised his leg to take a closer look, his right leg wasn't broken at all. It was just that the bone was cracked. Hey, Yushu, what are you doing? It's not broken, it's just a fracture. Do you know how to fight or not? Zhao Qibing panicked a little. His leg, a fractured bone, and a broken bone were 2 different things. A fractured bone was useless. I don't know how to fight, but you do? Why are you so nosy? Yushu wasn't happy. Are you going to fight or not? If not, I'm going to eat. I'll fight, but you have to fight properly. Qibing didn't dare to refuse. He braced himself and said, hit me again. Fine, you're too nosy. Yushu raised the steel rod and smashed it at Qibing's left leg. Bang! Crack! Another crisp sound. Qibing knelt on the ground. His right leg had just been fractured, and he didn't dare to use any strength. He only supported himself with his left leg, but Zhao Qibing thought that Yushu would still hit his right leg. He didn't expect that Yushu would hit his left leg instead. Ouch! Qibing screamed again. He was finally angry. Yushu, do you know how to fight or not? Right leg. Right leg. Not left leg. You hit the wrong one. Wrong one. Is that so? Yushu looked at Qibing, confused. That's right, isn't it a set? Both sides are broken, there's no problem. Break your head, I want to break it, not break it. You're too lousy. Lin Yi broke it in 1 hit. Your skills aren't good enough. Qibing was angry, but he didn't dare to let it out. Break your head. You dare say my skills aren't good enough? Yushu raged. She raised the steel rod and smashed it on Qibing's head. I'll break your head. Bang! Chapter 2890. Meng Yao had been with Lin Yi for a long time, and she'd seen a lot of bloodshed. She wasn't afraid, but she didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Shu's actions. Zhao Qibing was screwed over. At that moment, Uncle Zhu drove back. He got out of the car with the snacks and saw Yushu smashing Zhao Qibing's head. He froze. This is... Oh, the food is here. Yushu grabbed the steel rod and ran to Uncle Zhu. She snatched the snacks from his hands and said to Meng Yao, "Yao, Yao, we're going to eat." With that, she ran into the villa. Meng Yao was helpless. She shrugged at Uncle Zhu. "Hurry up and get him out of here." "Master Bing, he's dead?" Uncle Zhu was shocked. "He's not dead. He's probably unconscious." Meng Yao knew the relationship between Uncle Zhu and Lin Yi, so she didn't guard against him. Uncle Zhu nodded and walked over to check Zhao Qibing's breathing. He breathed out in relief when he realized that Zhao Qibing was still breathing. He quickly brought him to the hidden house. Although Zhao Qibing's head and legs were broken, he was a practitioner after all. He woke up not long after returning to the hidden house. However, he had a splitting headache. His legs weren't the worst, but Yushu's strike on his head was quite ruthless. Even his skull was broken. Old Zhao came as well. He was speechless after hearing Zhao Qibing's story, but he understood how Zhao Qibing felt. It was good that he wanted to train 1,000 legs. It was Yushu's fault for messing with him. Uncle Zhu, on the other hand, wasn't punished. After all, it wasn't his fault. Zhao Qibing was the one who asked Yushu to hit him. It had nothing to do with him. Besides, he was sent out to buy snacks when it happened. "You should take a small recovery pill. I'm afraid that it'll leave some side effects." Old Zhao sighed and said to Zhao Qibing, "But, Grandpa, aren't my legs broken for nothing? I was so close to breaking it." Qibing wasn't willing to give up. Otherwise, he would have taken the pill a long time ago. "Uncle Zhu, you should have broken Qibing's leg when he was unconscious. Now that he's awake, there's nothing we can do." Old Zhao said helplessly, "But how could I do it under those circumstances?" Uncle Zhu smiled bitterly. "That's true. You're loyal to Qibing, I know that. Forget it, Elder Mian. Give Qibing a small rejuvenation pill first, then we'll make plans." Old Zhao felt that things weren't going well recently, especially with Lin Yi getting stronger and stronger. To the hidden house, Zhao, he was always a threat. However, he had no way of killing Lin Yi, and the other hidden houses were waiting patiently. This put him in a difficult position. How could they allow the other hidden families to band together and kill Lin Yi? Old Zhao began to think about the possibility of joining forces. He believed that no matter how strong Lin Yi was, he wouldn't be able to fight against all the hidden houses working together. Lin Yi practiced until nighttime. He got up and looked at Tu Xiaowang, who wasn't far from him. To Lin Yi, Tu Xiaowang's injuries weren't serious. These injuries were nothing. Lin Yi walked over and grabbed Tu Xiaowang's wrist. He activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery and quickly healed Tu Xiaowang's injuries. However, he bypassed Tu Xiaowang's meridians. They were still the same as before. Of course, if it was the old Lin Yi, he wouldn't be able to do this with the first stage of the art of dragon mastery. However, Lin Yi could use the second stage of the art of dragon mastery with ease. This wasn't a problem at all. Tu Xiaowang used the great recovery pill to prolong his life, and the nutrients he needed were more than enough. It was just that many parts of his body were damaged, and he couldn't wake up. After Lin Yi healed him, Tu Xiaowang woke up. "You. Who are you?" Tyrant opened his eyes, shocked as he looked at Lin Yi, who had just let go of his wrist. He didn't know where he was, but all he remembered was that when he hit Naipeo, he'd been hit back with an even stronger force, knocking him out. Lin Yi said faintly, "All right, you're awake now. I should go." "Ah, wait a minute. You saved me?" Tu Xiaowang was arrogant, but he wasn't an idiot. He knew how heavily injured he was. He was prepared to die, because the Dahuan Dan didn't work. But now that he had woken up, Tu Xiaowang checked his body's condition. Other than his meridians being broken, he couldn't train. His bodily functions had returned to normal. This meant that someone had saved him. Now Lin Yi was beside him, but Tu Xiaowang's follower, Tu Xiaowang, wasn't with him. This meant that Lin Yi must have saved him. Yes, but you don't need to thank me. You're not my follower. I don't have the obligation to save you for free. Your follower, Tu Xiaowang, already promised me 2 bottles of earth essence as compensation. Lin Yi said, all right, I should go. This. Tu Xiaowang had just woken up. His mind wasn't clear yet, but he could guess that Lin Yi was a master. He wanted to say a few more words to Lin Yi, but Lin Yi wasn't going to talk to him. He could only shut his mouth. Zhang Naipeo's lesson this time was quite deep. Tu Xiaowang knew that there was always someone better than him. He didn't dare force Lin Yi, someone who could save him. He needed to understand the situation first. Lin Yi walked out the door, and Tu Xiaowang, who had been waiting anxiously not too far away, came up to him. It was as if he was waiting for a doctor's family. Tu Xiaowang quickly asked, Senior Lin, how is he? Tu Xiaowang, he's alive. Lin Yi said. Then, is he out of danger? Can I go in now? Tu Xiaowang asked carefully, afraid that he'd do something wrong. Of course he's inside. You can go in and talk to him. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This isn't an operation. He's still in danger. Chapter 2891. If you're not afraid that he'll kill you, continue. Lin Yi said faintly. That's... Earth Swishing realized that he'd gotten a little ahead of himself. He smiled awkwardly. There's no one here, right? Plus, with Senior Lin here, Zhang Naipeo wouldn't dare do anything to us. Lin Yi didn't refute it. He only smiled faintly. I'm going back to my room to rest. Bring me the earth essence as soon as possible. All right, Senior Lin, you should go rest first. Earth Swishing had wanted to talk more with Lin Yi, but remembering that Lin Yi had just healed Tu Zhanwang, he must be exhausted. It was normal for him to want to rest, so he didn't dare stop him. Lin Yi nodded and left. Earth Diamond Star, on the other hand, couldn't wait to enter Tua Tuo's room. Young head, are you all right? Swishing, I'm fine. My body's all recovered, but my meridians are still broken. Tu Zhanwang was alive, but he wasn't in a good mood. That's great. Senior Lin is amazing. He's a man of his words. Earth Swishing breathed out in relief after seeing Tu Zhanwang sitting up. Who was the person who saved me before? Tu Zhanwang was very curious about Lin Yi. He didn't really care about anything else. Young master, you're talking about Senior Lin. Earth Swishing didn't need to hide anything from Tu Zhanwang. He told Tu Zhanwang everything that happened after Tu Zhanwang fainted, including him asking for help with silkworm transformation, finding Lin Yi, and discussing terms with the headmaster. That's Senior Lin. Why is he so strong? Isn't he afraid of offending Zhang Naipeo by saving me? Tu Xiaowang was filled with respect for Lin Yi after hearing the words. Someone that even his silkworm transformation couldn't handle had to be a master. It was just that he'd made an enemy out of Zhang Naipeo for no reason, and it wasn't worth it. There's something else I didn't go into. Senior Lin and Zhang Naipeo are enemies, and those Mo Ba and Mo Jiu by Naipeo's side are all gone. One dead, one injured. It was all done by Senior Lin. Earth Swishing explained. Zhang Naipeo doesn't even dare to fart, evidently afraid of Senior Lin. So, Senior Lin doesn't need to worry about him. So strong. Tu Zhanwang didn't expect Lin Yi to be this strong. He was a black horse in this test. Which sect is he from? He's a rogue, cultivator. Earth Diamond Star said, but I heard that a few direct disciples of the ancient era are his underlings. Sigh, our Yellow Earth High sect doesn't have any relationship with him. If only the young sect master was his underling. He would even be able to repair your meridians. It's just that, unless it's someone related to him, he wouldn't waste any effort to help. If it's someone unrelated to him, he wouldn't help no matter what conditions he offers. We paid 2 bottles of the earth element essence this time, and all we got in return was to bring you back to life, young master. Freelancer. There were even minions from the ancient era. He can even repair my meridians. Tu Zhanwang was completely shocked. This person didn't sound like a normal freelancer at all. All his followers were from an ancient sect, and they were omnipotent. This was almost on the same level as 5 Elements sect. Yes, that's what the silkworm transformation young master said. It can't be false. Earth, Zuexing nodded. As for meridians, I had my suspicions before, but the great master didn't. Perhaps he knows something, so as long as I call him boss, he'll help me repair my meridians? Tu Zhanwang suddenly remembered what Lin Yi said before he left. You're not my follower. I don't have the obligation to save you for free. Didn't that mean that if he became his follower, Lin Yi would repair his meridians for free? With that thought, Tu Zhanwang was a little excited. He wasn't calling Lin Yi boss just to repair his meridians. The main thing was that with a boss like Lin Yi, at least people like Zhang Naipeo wouldn't dare hit him anymore. Plus, Lin Yi was so strong and would become the biggest helper of Yellow Soil sect in the future. Calling him boss was a very good deal, but Tu Zhanwang was a little worried about his uncle's attitude. After all, he was the young master of an ancient sect, and calling Lin Yi boss wasn't a big deal right now. But once he took over the position, wouldn't the entire Yellow Soil sect be Lin Yi's follower? That should be the case, but I'm afraid that Senior Lin won't take you in. Tu Zhanqing smiled bitterly. Even Tu Qingsong was hinting for him to make things happen between Tu Zhanwang and Lin Yi. Lin Yi was really capable. Otherwise, the sect master wouldn't have said that. But this way, it wouldn't be easy to call Lin Yi boss. Lin Yi had said that he had enough followers already and wouldn't take in just anyone. It seemed like there needed to be an opportunity. Pester me with soft and hard tactics. Plus, didn't he ask for the essence of the earth element? He doesn't know how to use it, and only my uncle and I know the secret. So if he wants to know, I'll have to tell him myself. After a while, we'll get familiar, and I'll take the chance to call him boss. Tu Zhanwang said, but what I'm worried about is, how do I explain this to my uncle? Tu Zhanwang admired absolute masters, especially when Lin Yi defeated Zhang Naipeo. He was only worried about his uncle's side. That's fine. Tu Zhanqing nodded. You don't have to worry too much about the headmaster. He's already said that you can get closer to Senior Lin, young master. Everything is up to you. Oh, did Uncle really say that? Tu Zhanwang wasn't stupid. He understood immediately, but he was a little surprised. With his uncle's personality, why would he agree? Even if it was to heal his meridians, it wouldn't be that easy, right? Yes, if you don't believe me, you can call the headmaster. Tu Zhanqing nodded. There's no need for that. Why would I doubt your words? Tu Zhanwang waved his hand. He was just a little confused. But he didn't doubt Tu Zhanqing's words at all. He'd been with him for so many years, and he'd always been loyal. Chapter 2892. Now. Tua Xiaowang shook his head, a bitter smile on his face. Mr. Lin's acting like he doesn't want anyone to disturb himself. After saving me, he just said a few words and left, as if he didn't want to talk to me anymore. Then what do we do? Tua Xiaowang realized for the first time that making a young master of an ancient sectic knowledge a freelancer as his boss was a difficult thing. The difficulty didn't lie with the young master of the ancient sect. It lay with the freelancer. When is the person delivering the essence coming? Tua Xiaowang asked after some thought. Should be tomorrow. He's taking a private jet, so it shouldn't be long, Tua Xiaowang said. Yeah, tomorrow then. I'll explain to Senior Lin how to use the essence when it's delivered, and we'll see what his attitude is like when I call him boss. Tua Xiaowang said. Sounds good, Tua Xiaowang nodded. After leaving Tua Xiaowang's room, Lin Yi didn't go back to his own room. He went to Yang Chi-Chi's room and knocked on the door. Chi-Chi was talking to Lil 9 on the phone when the knocking came. Who would be knocking at a time like this? Didn't Lin Yi go treat Tua Xiaowang? Who is it? Chi-Chi asked. It's me, Lin Yi said. Ah. Chi-Chi quickly lowered her voice when she heard Lin Yi's voice. Lil Nina, Bro's here. Let's talk later. I'll go open the door. Yeah. Lil 9 was a little dejected. She wanted to let Chi-Chi give the phone to Lin Yi, but thinking about it, what could she say if she gave the phone to Lin Yi? These years, her relationship with Lin Yi had become very distant, and it was just the kind of conversation between teammates. She didn't know what to say when she actually picked up the phone. Chi-Chi opened the door and blushed when she saw Lin Yi. Bro, you're here. Yeah, I just came out of Tua Xiaowang's room, so I stopped by. Lin Yi said, My name is Lin Yi now. E and Eagle are just code names. You can call me by my current name. I'm not really used to sure. Chi-Chi liked Lin Yi as a person, not the name Ai. It didn't matter what Lin Yi was called. He was still that childhood friend in her heart. But Lin Yi bro, your room's over there and Tuo's on the other side. It's not like you're going in the same direction. Ugh. Lin Yi didn't know what. Lin Chi-Chi felt a bit embarrassed. Lin Xiaowang. Xiaowang Yi's face. Lin Yi didn't mean it, but it made Chi-Chi's heart skip a beat. A flash of shyness appeared on her cool face. Is that so? Xiao-Chi's so happy. Yeah, there's something even happier. The Earth Essence is coming, and there's 2 bottles. The Yellow Earth sect promised to send them over as soon as possible. Lin Yi said. Really? Chi-Chi was very excited. Lin Yi bro, you healed that Tua Xiaowang? They're so easygoing. Lil Jio can finally be saved. Not yet, he's just alive, but his meridians are still broken. Lin Yi shook his head, but they're already very happy. That's all. Chi-Chi was a bit surprised. Wasn't the Yellow Earth sect a little too easy to deal with? She just didn't know how important Tua Xiaowang was to them. Yeah, you should tell the 9th princess about this later. Let her be happy. Lin Yi came here to cheer Chi-Chi and Lil Jio up. Lin Yi bro, why don't you call her yourself? You have her contact anyway. Chi-Chi said. You know that I'm in contact with her? Lin Yi was a bit surprised. His contact with Lil Jio was one way. This was the rule of the assassin organization. Logically speaking, Chi-Chi shouldn't know, but you're an assassin from the assassin group, right? As long as it's an assassin on a mission, they're all connected to Lil Jio. It's just that a lot of people don't know each other. But Lin Yi bro definitely knows who Lil Jio is. I forgot about that. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly. Then, you won't blame me for not going back and contacting you, will you? Of course not. Father said that an assassin shouldn't contact his teammates with his original identity after a mission. If something happens to one person, it'll affect the others. That's why Lil Chi hasn't made up her mind to look for Lily bro. Chi-Chi shook her head. Who would have thought that fate would allow Lil Chi to meet Lily bro again? But now it seems that you're no longer an assassin, Linny bro. You've stepped into the world of practitioners. Yeah, assassins are only limited to the common world. In fact, if it weren't for some people and things, I might never have had anything to do with the world of practitioners in this lifetime. But the people and things around me force me to go against the flow and step into a higher plane. I don't cause trouble for them, but they cause trouble for me and the people around me. Linny said, just like this time, if it weren't for my name in the world of practitioners, no matter how much help Tian-chan gave us, there'd be no way the Yellow Earth sect would have handed over 2 bottles of the essence so willingly. That's true. I didn't think that Linny bro would be this strong. No matter what you do, you've made a name for yourself in the world of practitioners. Lil Chi will follow Lin Yi bro from now on. Chi-Chi was even happier that Lin Yi had become stronger than her. Lin Yi knew Chi-Chi's personality very well. She looked cold and cool on the outside, but she was actually a girl who looked strong on the outside, but was actually very fragile on the inside. She wasn't suited to be an assassin, and it was due to her parents that she started training as an assassin at a young age. Her path wasn't because she liked it. At first, Chi-Chi was a bit against it, but after getting to know him, Lin-Yi could feel that Chi-Chi was training for him, and now she was fighting for Lil Nine. In the Ice Palace trial in the practitioner's market, Chi-Chi had cried, showing the fragile side of her heart. Under this cool facade, Chi-Chi's strength came from a stubborn belief. Chapter 2893. This was a feeling that Lin-Yi understood very well. Lin-Yi had been through this before, after all. Those backgrounds in the common world, on the other hand, were quite useful in the common world. For example, at House Kang's birthday banquet, dealing with normal houses that weren't even considered noble houses. But at the noble house level, those backgrounds were useless. This was also why Lin-Yi had always been envious of people with good mentors. Even people like Kong Mingming and Zhang Naipeo, who weren't important at all, had sky-class strength. How the hell did a hard-working practitioner like Lin-Yi feel? But what could he do? He was tall, rich, and handsome, with a good master. Pills were like candy to him. And Lin-Yi, on the other hand, had to go through a lot of hardships just to get one, and he was almost trapped under the cliffs of Wushuang Mountains during the test. It was a feeling of helplessness. But Lin-Yi, on the other hand, had overcome all of this with much difficulty, finally standing at the peak of existence. Of course, all of this was thanks to the jade space and that damn thing, or else Lin-Yi would have died a long time ago. As for Chi-Chi, Lin-Yi patted her shoulder. Shao-Chi, you can tell others that you're my sister from now onwards. Normally, no one would go out of their way to cause trouble for you. In this test, Lin-Yi could see that he was in a very delicate position. No one dared to mess with him, or rather, no one wanted to mess with him because the consequences would be too severe. This was why Lin-Yi and Zhang Naipeo were able to coexist peacefully. Especially after the incident with Zhang Naipeo got out, Lin-Yi's name was like thunder in the ears of the ancient practitioners. Sure, haha, Ibro used to protect me, and now he's protecting me again. Can I do whatever I want in the ancient level? Chi-Chi asked happily. You can bully the people who bullied you again. For example, tomorrow morning you can occupy a few tables and stop them from eating, Lin-Yi said. Okay. Lin-Yi suggested casually, but Chi-Chi seemed to be paying attention. When Lin-Yi got back to his room, Chi-Chi happily called Jiu. The people from the Yellow Earth sect came quickly. It was unknown if Tu Chingsong had specially arranged it. In short, this disciple of the Yellow Earth sect arrived at the Heavenly Elixir sect in the early hours of the next day. It seemed that the power of the Yellow Earth sect was not weak. The private plane could take off at any time. Good timing! When Tu Bawang saw that the disciples of the Yellow Earth High sect had arrived, he was instantly overjoyed. He understood the principle of striking while the iron was hot, but if he didn't have anything in his hands, why would he strike the iron? He needed to be strong, didn't he? And so, after Tu Bawang got the essence, he came to the inn's restaurant early, ready to have a chance encounter with Lin-Yi. He'd then talk to Lin-Yi about the essence, and after the meal, he'd go to Lin-Yi's room or his own room to talk about it. When it came to the point of worship, he'd just kneel down and call him boss, and everything would be fine. Of course, Tu Bawang's idea was good, but he noticed something strange when he came to the restaurant. All the practitioners who came here to eat were walking out of the restaurant with their lunch boxes and not eating in the restaurant. This made Tu Bawang very confused. Normally speaking, practitioners here didn't have the habit of eating in their rooms. There were no full-time waiters here, and the trash from eating in their rooms had to be taken care of by themselves. Everyone thought it was troublesome, and they could leave after eating in the restaurant. What was going on today? Why was everyone taking takeout? He was about to ask someone when he raised his head to see Zhang Naipeo walking out of the restaurant with a depressed look on his face. In his hands was a takeout as well. At the same time, Naipeo saw Tu Bawang as well. He froze. He knew how heavily injured Tu Ba was. How did this guy get better? How could he walk? Wasn't he unconscious? But, as confused as Naipeo was, he didn't plan on asking anymore. He only looked at Tu Bawang once before leaving in a hurry. Naipeo's weird actions made Tu Bawang a little puzzled. Why was Naipeo acting like he didn't see him at all? He was the one who hit him. But he was here, perfectly fine. Couldn't he ask a few questions? In fact, Tu Bawang did want Naipeo to ask a few more questions. After all, if Naipeo wanted to cause trouble for him, Lin Yi would probably step in and interfere. He'd just been healed by Lin Yi, so how could he let Naipeo do whatever he wanted? This had to do with the face of a practitioner. He shook his head. If Naipeo didn't cause trouble, he wouldn't provoke him. Lin Yi wasn't an idiot either. Him provoking Naipeo and getting hurt again were two different situations. Tua Xiaowang hadn't even stood still when he heard an arrogant girl's voice. All the tables in this restaurant belong to me now. You're not allowed to eat here. Linny bro and I are going to enjoy our time together. You guys buy food and go eat outside. The voice belonged to Yang Qiqi, of course. She'd bought some food and wanted to find a place to sit down when these practitioners chased her away with a cold glare. This time, Yang Qiqi was giving them a taste of their own medicine. Anyone who wanted to eat here was kicked out. Of course, some of them were innocent bystanders. Qiqi didn't go to their table when she came, or they had already finished eating and left, not meeting Qiqi at all. But they didn't dare say anything. Yang Qiqi and the others didn't know where they came from, but Lin Yi and the others did. This Lin Yi was the one who swept through the Sky Elixir sex test, and even Naipeo wasn't his match. Didn't they see Naipeo leave after buying breakfast? Who else could be a match for Lin Yi? Thinking that it was better to avoid trouble, they all left after buying breakfast. Tu Bawang, on the other hand, couldn't help but smile bitterly at Yang Qiqi's domineering. This person was obviously very close to Lin Yi, and Tu Bawang couldn't afford to piss him off. But he didn't want to leave just like that. At the same time, his admiration for Lin Yi went up another level. Seeing was believing, and he'd heard about how strong Lin Yi was from Tujinqing. All he saw was Lin Yi's medical skills, but he didn't know much about Lin Yi's strength. Chapter 2894. At that thought, Tua Xiaolong was excited. So strong! What kind of ancient sect could be this strong? They didn't even say anything, just a little girl, and these people wouldn't dare eat here. Tua Xiaolong's imagination was running wild. If it were him instead of Qiqi, it'd be so much more fun and pretentious. He stood at the entrance of the restaurant and spoke to the participants, especially Naipeo. All the tables in this restaurant belong to me now. You're not allowed to eat here. I have some things to discuss with Boss Linny. So you guys buy your food and go eat outside. Waha, he was excited just thinking about it. Tua had always been someone who liked to show off, and he didn't have many bad intentions. He just liked the feeling of being looked up to, and having Lin Yi as his boss could sweep away all the frustrations he'd faced before. Oi, all the tables in this restaurant belong to me now. You're not allowed to eat here. HM? Qiqi was just about to shoo Tua Xiaolong away when she saw that it was Tua Xiaolong. She changed the topic immediately. You're Tua Xiaolong? Yeah, sis. I'm actually Boss Lin Yi's friend as well. I'm his patient, so do you think I can eat here? Tua Xiaolong asked carefully, his face thick. You? Qiqi turned to Lin Yi. He was the one who gave Little Nine the essence, but whether or not he could sit here was up to Lin Yi. Qiqi didn't dare make the decision herself. Oh, Tua Xiaolong, you're recovering pretty fast? You're here to give me the essence, aren't you? Lin Yi estimated the time. If Huang Tu had been a bit faster, it should be about time. Yeah, Boss Lin Yi is amazing. You know what I'm here for. Tua Xiaolong said as he ran over to Lin Yi and sat down. Outside the restaurant, the cultivators who had not left all had strange expressions on their faces. Firstly, they were surprised that Earth Overlord had woken up. Secondly, he actually said that he was Lin Yi's patient. Could it be that Lin Yi had cured him? How was this possible? Wasn't Earth Tyrant's injuries so severe that even a third-grade great cyclic pill had no effect on it? How could it be better? Of course, even though these people were puzzled, they didn't dare to ask. Why are you calling me boss? You are also not my little brother. Lin Yi glanced at local overlord and said indifferently. Lin Yi's expression didn't show anything special, but he had some doubts in his heart. The local tyrant actually wanted to recognize him as his boss so soon? What prompted him to make such a quick decision? He had only healed the injuries on his body and did not repair his meridians. Moreover, this was only a transaction. He had healed him, and he had also paid the earth essence. It was extremely fair. Moreover, even if there was Tian Chan's mediation, it was impossible for an ancient sect's young master to make a decision so easily. Feng Shipian and Li Siba, on the other hand, had recognized him as their boss after witnessing his strength under special circumstances. Tua, on the other hand, was different. He didn't understand why he'd come to him. Was it just to repair his meridians? However, Lin Yi knew that he was a very good judge of character. Lin Yi didn't see any utilitarian intentions in Earth Tyrant's eyes. On the contrary, he seemed to admire him very much. What was he admiring? Moreover, he had Earth Diamond Star by his side. If he casually recognized him as his boss, wouldn't Earth Diamond Star report to their sect master? Boss, I can't express my gratitude in words. Boss Lin Yi healed my injuries and brought me back to life. It was like I was reborn. So, Boss Lin Yi is like a second parent to me. However, if I call Boss Lin Yi Godfather, you definitely won't recognize me as your son. So, I'll settle for the next best thing and call you boss. Earth Tyrant said, What do you think? Of course, this is just a title. In my heart, you're my boss. It doesn't matter if you recognize me as your little brother or not. You're my idol and I'm your fan. Uft, cough, cough. Lin Yi didn't expect Earth Tyrant to come up with such a fallacious argument. Godfather? He really dared to call him that. However, Lin Yi could also see that this kid was sincere when he said these words. Therefore, even if Lin Yi was puzzled, his expression still softened. He nodded and said noncommittally, Where's the earth essence? I was so focused on talking that I forgot about the important matter. The earth essence is here. As he said this, Earth Tyrant carefully took out 2 very small bottles from his pocket and placed them in front of Lin Yi. Such a small bottle. Lin Yi looked at the pocket-sized bottles in front of him, a little speechless. Ugh, this small bottle is actually just enough for one use. Earth Tyrant explained awkwardly. The Earth Overlord explained somewhat awkwardly. There's not a lot of this thing. The Earth Attribute Essence liquid is stored in a special way. Once the bottle is opened, it has to be used immediately. It will lose its effect after 3 days. Hence, it would be a waste to store more. So that's how it is. Lin Yi nodded and thought that this was similar to the spring water that old Lin and Airgooden drank at home. Once the spring water was taken out, it would lose its effect after a period of time. Yes. Earth Tyrant nodded and asked, Boss Lin Yi, what do you want to do with this earth essence? The way to use this earth essence is a secret of our yellow Earth High sect. Only my uncle, the current leader, and I know about it. Even Earth Diamond Star doesn't know about it. Of course, Boss Lin Yi isn't an outsider, so it doesn't matter if you know about it. Lin Yi heard Earth Tyrant's words and thought it was funny. This guy was trying to get information out of him so that he would accept him as a follower. Of course, Lin Yi accepting Earth Tyrant wasn't a problem. Right now, Lin Yi basically didn't care about the Hidden House's power anymore. The next step would be the Ancient Powers. An additional follower would be an additional helper. So naturally, Lin Yi was happy to do so. However, This boss Earth tyrant was suspicious. Lin, he had to figure out this person's purpose and character first. I have a friend who has too much Earth element in his body, and he can't control or guide it. He needs the Earth essence and parts of an Earth spirit beast to treat him. Lin, he didn't hide anything. After all, he had to explain this clearly to Earth Tyrant so that he could take the right medicine. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.